On the continent of Doha, strength is everything. Those who fight using battle spirits are called spirit warriors. They stand at the top of the Duhi continent, and also, they are a symbol of power. Battle spirits are divided into 9 levels, according to their powers. Before advancing to each level, it takes many years of preparation and the accumulation of soul strength. If a person cannot awaken his fighting spirit before the age of 12, then in the future, he will not have that opportunity. And then the head of the Luo Xiaotian family shouted at the kid that he was scum. Let him kneel down immediately when talking to the head. And always standing beside the head was the young master of the Luo family, Luo Chun. Yi Chongling, the eldest son of the Yi family, asked, why was the Luo family born with such trash? Had their marriage contract turned out to be a mistake? And his Yi Ryu was already able to awaken the level 5 martial spirit. After all, it has already been recognized by the Wushu Academy, which is the first academy in all of Tiandu, and the academy is also against this contract. Lu Shang, the youngest son of the head, said that this Luo Chang is about to be 12 years old, and he still has not been able to awaken his fighting spirit. Their entire county knows that he is just useless. Lu Shang said that he would be honest with the head. He came here from Wushu Academy. They appreciated the talent hidden in Yi Ryu. She is no comparison to Luo Chun. Lu Shang realized that this useless marriage contract should not become a stain on the reputation of such a talent. He hoped that the head of the Luo family would be prudent and see the big picture. The head heard that the Yi family even had to personally come here. Although the head of the Luo family is strong, but he wouldn't dare to provoke their academy and the Yi family. The head waved his hand and agreed, telling them not to bother with this prenup. Since they wanted it that way, they could just terminate it. Chong Lao tells Lord Lo that he seems to have misunderstood them. He tells him straight up, they are hoping their family will be the ones to cancel the contract. After all, young Master Luo is useless right now, and they should realize by themselves that he is unworthy of Yi Ryu. And then the boy raised his head slightly and Lord Lo used force. Calling him an idiot, he asked him who allowed him to get up. The boy was in pain and shouted to his father. The Lord told him not to call him father anymore. He was just a stepchild he didn't even want to have. He thought the boy would be useful to him when he took him. The boy got angry and asked his father what he had said. The Lord said that his Luo family is not a dump to keep trash like him. As of today, the boy is no longer a member of their family. The boy stood up and laughing loudly said that for the sake of saving his face and his reputation, the Lord had discarded their father-son bond and would kick him out of the family. The Lord said that the continent of Duhi has always been a place where the weak become food for the strong. The boy can only blame himself for his weakness. The guard told his partner that he didn't know that Luo Chan was actually the Lord's adopted son. The second guard said that it was no wonder the Lord was so angry. The Luo family had spent so much effort and time, and as a result, he turned out to be a simple scum. The Lord asked the Yi family that he was now satisfied. There is no longer a person named Luo Chun in their family, and a marriage is out of the question. A girl from Ye Ryu's family came up to Chang and asked him, is he okay? And here is a spiritual pill for him. It will help him heal his wounds. Chun did not tolerate such regret and tossed the pill box aside, waving his hand at him. Shang grabbed his hand and said that Sister Ryu was so kind and wanted to help him, and he just threw her help away. Shang, thinking he would humbly accept it, bow down to them and say thank you. Chun took his hand away and said that someday she would regret what happened today. This bastard is really just scum. He can't even accept a gesture of goodwill. But then Shang thought about it, for he felt that Chun had a great spiritual power hidden, and he became curious. Chun at home began to cultivate, and thought that the father was abandoning his son for the sake of maintaining his own reputation. And then he remembered his father's words that he had told Chun, that he let him blame only himself for his own weakness. Chun told himself that he would not accept this. It was raining heavily, the clouds were gathering, and the thunder lightning was flashing more and more intensely. While Chun said that spiritual power was gathering, it was a sign of awakening. But of course, if you don't restrain her, he might not only fail to awaken, he might blow up his body. But his father's words didn't leave his mind as he was told he was scum. And since he had lost the face of the Luo family, his father had told him that someone who couldn't awaken his fighting spirit was of no use to their family. He might as well just die. Chun said he would rather die than accept it. Putting his hands up with great strength, The boy said his name was Luo Chun. A bolt of lightning pierced the roof of the house and went straight at Chun. It knocked him unconscious. Chun was surprised and thought, is this really his fighting spirit? He finally broke through. Chun said it was quite ironic, only after he had lost everything and put his life on the line was he able to awaken him. The two brothers were returning home for the morning. Opening the door, the boy was surprised at what he saw. The boy shouted to the third brother that someone was lying in their shelter, and he doesn't give a word. The third brother burst in and asked who was so bold, and who dares to take over his and his brother's place. The boy asked his brother, is this guy dead? Immediately he cried. The brother smacked the younger one in the back of the head and told him not to jump to such hasty conclusions. The third brother went to Chun and felt his pulse and said he was still breathing, but his injuries are very serious, something no ordinary person could have survived. The third asked if he was a spiritual warrior. The boy asked, how is that possible? He looks about their age, and if he really is a spiritual warrior, he should be protected by his family, so why is he so badly hurt? The third brother told Xiao Wu that he would go to the pharmacy to try to buy some healing medicine. Xiao told his brother that they had worked so hard today for these couple copper coins. After all, they didn't even have anything to eat. The older brother told the younger one that it was no big deal. Saving a life is more important. Chun came to his senses and saw the human appearances in front of him. While Xiao told his brother that he would go with him on this beautiful evening, Xiao and Big Brother stood over Chun. Xiao said, it looks like their medicine has already started to take effect. When will he wake up already? The older brother said the guy was badly injured. He was extremely lucky to have survived at all. The light of the green rays fell directly into the roof of this house where Chun was. The older brother noticed something strange and didn't understand what was going on. Suddenly, green rays enveloped Chun completely. The light lifted Chun to the sky and held him in the air. Chun woke up and asked, was this really his sea of consciousness? And then he decided to try out his intonation and thought, was it possible that this was his fighting spirit? He knew that there were 4 types of martial spirits on the Duhi continent: beast spirit, weapon spirit, plant spirit, and mystic martial spirit. But the first 3 types of martial spirit are the most common, but mystic spirit is extremely rare, and 1 in a million would be with this kind of martial spirit. Chun said that his martial spirit awakens like a beast spirit, but it looks like a plant, however it is a plant martial spirit. Chun thought for a long time and couldn't understand what type of martial spirit did his martial spirit belong to. After examining his body, he said he could feel the wounds starting to heal quickly. Was it all because of his fighting spirit? Directing this martial spirit from his hand into his mouth, he began to absorb it. And then this green light began to spread through his body. Chun opened his eyes and couldn't realize where he was. The elder asked him who he was, and was he all right? Chun stood up and asked the guys, were they the ones who saved him? Xiao said his older brother got the medicine for him. If it wasn't for him, the guy would have died already. The elder handed Chung some food and told him not to talk too much. Since he had just woken up, Chun thought immediately that his own family was ready to kill him, and these 2 beggars were giving their last to help him. Chun thanked the guy. The older man told him to let the guy stay here and take good care of his wounds, and he and his brother would try to get better food tomorrow. Xiao asked his brother, did he want to go there again? They will be killed if they get caught. The older man asked Xiao, is he getting cold feet? Let Xiao not be afraid. They will go to a different place this time. There are plenty of water barrels and bread. Xiao said it's still too dangerous. Senior said he had made up his mind. This is Luo Hong's manor, and he's sure if he asks, they'll give them some food. Once he's made up his mind, there's no stopping him. After a couple hours, Chun cultivated and recovered his strength. Just as suddenly, he heard shouting as Xiao was telling his brother to hold on. Chun put it back in its former place, and opening his shirt was surprised and asked who had beaten him so badly. Xiao said that they went to Luo Manor and begged there to be given some food, but they started getting beaten up, and the third brother took it all on himself. When Chun heard about Luo, he realized that they had done this to him. Chun immediately used his strength to heal the boy's wounds. Chun remembered that when he had forcibly awakened his fighting spirit, aggravating his wounds, he was able to heal after swallowing his martial spirit. Perhaps he could heal the wounds of others. Perhaps his martial spirit is of the healing type. After all, spirit doctors are a special kind of spirit warriors They are equated with weaponized spirit warriors. It is said that powerful spirit doctors can even revive the dead. They are extremely rare on the continent of Duhi, so they are very valuable. Chun told Xiao not to worry. His brother did not damage his internal organs. His bones are separated, as well as many bruises. Xiao asked Chun, is he a spirit doctor? Chun said not really. His martial spirit can only heal his external injuries. But he is unable to repair his bones. To heal him completely, a bone repair pill would be needed. And then Xiao visualized what the pill was and how it will help them tremendously. Xiao said that he heard one of these is worth several hundred gold coins. They won't be able to buy it. Is his brother Mret? Chun looked at the two brothers and stood up abruptly. Said this happened because they wanted to help him. Now it was his turn to help them. In Qinfeng Pavilion, at the table, the young master of the Wu family, Wu Yun, gathered all his brothers from different families. Wu told brother Luo and Mu that he didn't expect them to visit together today. What was the occasion for their visit? The grandson of the second elder of the Luo family, Kuan, said to brother Wu, has he heard of Ryu of the Yi family? They say she's very talented, and she was also able to awaken a level 5 martial spirit at such a young age. Young Master Mu Lu said that even the Wushu Academy had noticed her talent and had already taken her in. There won't be room for their families in Wulin County. Wu thought it looked like the Mu and Lu families wanted to join forces with him to deal with the Yi family. The girl came up and said that she wanted to remind them that her Wu family was only in business and did not get involved in the showdown between the two families. Yun got the information from the girl and was very surprised. He indignantly stood up and headed towards the exit. Yun went outside and saw Luo Qin. He asked him how he was able to survive. After all, they thought Qin was already dead. Chun told Wu Yun that he wanted to ask him for a few things. Yun said that since Chun needed something, could he use the magic word, please? Chun said that he wanted Yun to reap him a book on martial spirits written by his Wu family, and also a bone regeneration pill. Yun said that the Book of Martial Spirits from his Wu family is one of the best books in the county, and the bone recovery pill is a very valuable medicine that is hard to get. But he had heard that Chun had been kicked out of the Luo family because he had never been able to awaken his fighting spirit. So why should he give him all this? Why did Chun ask? Yun thinks that since he was kicked out of the family, there's no point in supporting him anymore. Yun told Chang that he didn't mean anything like that. He had just heard rumors about it. Chun says he understands what Yun is getting at. Then he'll just let him know why he should support him. And then Chun didn't restrain himself and punched Yun so hard that he stamped against the door and showed his strength. Yun asked Chun what he was doing. He warned him if Chun dared to kill him. And then Yun abruptly stopped talking and felt his injury from that punch. Why did it instantly go away? Yun said to Bart Luo, could it be that he was able to awaken his martial spirit on top of becoming a spiritual doctor? Chun said that he shouldn't be so surprised. He was only able to awaken the second-level martial spirit. Yun smiled and said, it seems like the rumors really can't be believed. After all, Brother Luo is very young and a level 2 martial artist, and the Lo family are complete idiots. They lost a genius who could have completely changed their entire destiny. Chun said that his Luo family doesn't know about his awakened fighting spirit. Yun said that since the Luo family doesn't know about it, maybe then he would want to join his Wu family. Chun was surprised at such a suggestion and asked Yun why. Yun told him that maybe he didn't know it yet. Representatives from one of the best academies in all of Tiandu, Wushu Academy, came to their Wulin district and said they had 3 spots left for new students, and if with his talent, he could definitely take one place for himself. Chun asked, Wushu Academy? He thought that Wushu Academy was considered a good academy in their county. Yun said that he was right. Wushu Academy had fallen into disrepair recently because it was being oppressed by Wushu Academy. But it has always been and will always be considered one of the best academies in the entire county. If he could get into Wushu Academy, he could reach the top. Those who enter Wushu Academy will be given a chance to get the Tanlo pill. Tanlo's top grade 2 quality pill. It could purify the meridians and expand the soul. It would greatly help him in the future of any spiritual cultivator. In a small place like Wulin County, it is considered a true treasure as well as a legendary medicine. The girl told Master Wu that Messrs. Luo and Mu, they are very unhappy about his absence. Wu said if they are so disgruntled, she can tell them to leave. He's talking to a VIP person. Chan said that these 3 places are very valuable. When the people from Wushu Academy come to recruit students, there will be a real storm in Wulin County. but he still won't join his Wu family. Yoon sighed and accepted his answer. He told the girl to bring Brother Luo what he was asking for. The guard brought a tray and bowed and told Brother Luo that everything he asked for was here. Chun took everything for himself and thanked him. Yoon laughed and said that Brother Luo was so polite. Yoon took out a sack and told him to take this as well. There's 100 gold coins here. It's a small gift from him. Chun thanked Bharat Wu and said that he would never forget his generosity. Immediately they parted. Strad said to Master Wu, what would he really just give him such valuable items? He chased away Masters Luo and Mu. Yoon said to just consider it as an investment in their future cooperation. Chun is very talented. Just wait until he becomes a good spiritual doctor and it will pay off for them. Chun thought that with the help of the bone recovery pill, that brother's wounds would heal within half a month. The guy met Chun and said that he kept wondering who the VIP person was that caused Master Wu to have to leave them. And it turned out to be a scumbag from the Luo family. Chun said he better not stand in his way. The guy said he wondered, the scum of the Lu family dare to be impertinent to him? A guy in uniform came out behind Chen's back and wanted to attack one of them. But it was Chun too. He saw it and managed to dodge such an attack. And then the guy wondered how he could do that. Chun turned around and saw Luo Kuan. Chun realized that not even a year had passed and he was meeting people from the Luo family again. The guy who attacked Chun called him scum and asked Chun how dare he dodge his taka. Chun laughed and said this guy is still him, calling him scum? Chun said Luo Kuan, Pa's grandson of the second elder, so technically he is his cousin. But now he is an outcast and will not look at the fact that he is his cousin. The guy didn't like it and decided to attack. But Kuan stopped his brother Luo and told him to calm down. Kuan said that he had heard that Chun had practiced his soul for 3 years, and at 6 years old, was able to become a spiritual warrior without even awakening his martial spirit. And you can say he's a kind of genius. And then Lo couldn't help himself and laughed, and told his brother not to make him laugh. Luo said that even if there were little rudiments of genius in him, he still couldn't awaken his fighting spirit. So he was expelled from the family, he was just trash. Luo told Chun to get on his knees and beg for mercy now. Chun told them to stop talking nonsense, he doesn't have time to talk to them. Let them be kind. Don't make trouble for themselves and let him pass already. Kuan attacked him and asked, did Chun think he would let him go so easily? Chun noticed this and jumped over his attack. Chun told Kuan that he better not go too far. How is that not going to go far? Chun would be in the Luo family for many years, and not only did he take the position of a young master, but the head of the family was also partial to him and hoped for his trash talent. But Chun didn't live up to expectations, and took away the young master's position that should have been his. Chun doesn't want to apologize for this. Kuan said that he would teach Chun a lesson so that he would know his place. This is his 3rd level martial spirit. Fire staff, let us see how long Chun will make himself look tough for. Chun looked around and realized that Kuan had materialized a martial spirit and decided to kill him. Immediately, Kuan attacked Chun with his staff. Chun managed to dodge his attack and grabbing the staff with both hands, showed off his new abilities. Kuan was surprised to see such a thing and asked how was it even possible? Chun punched him and told him to get out. Luo saw this too and thought that Chun was trash. Then how could he catch Luo Kuan's fire staff with his bare hands? Luo now realized that perhaps Luo Chun was even higher than just a genius. That very evening, Chun came to the house and treated the boys to a meal. Chun told Brother Xiao that his wounds should recover soon. Rest properly for now. Senior Xiao said that it had only been half a night and he was already feeling much better. The bone repair pill really is a wonderful medicine. Xiao asked Chun where he got it and he also brought so much food. Chun said it was nothing, he just asked his old acquaintance for it. Xiao thanked Chun and said that if it wasn't for him, he would have probably died. Chun asked Xiao if he planned to continue begging for a living. What else are they supposed to do? They were born without martial spirits. In the Doubt continent, only strength is important, and they wouldn't even be hired for the simplest jobs. It's not right to make money by begging. Here, let them take a few gold coins here, they can start a small business with them, it's any better than begging. Xiao thanked Chun and said, but this gold could only temporarily ease their lives, not relieve them of all their hardships. Besides, they will not be able to invest or save that much money, they will be beaten and stolen, and they will have to beg again. Chun now realized that on the continent, the Duki, who were weak and had no martial spirits, were not considered human beings. He was even expelled from his family because of this. Lord Luo was saying that Chun was able to block Luo Kuen's fire staff with one hand, also defeated him with one move. Is the guy sure about that? The guy said yes, he absolutely could defeat Luo Kuen with just one move. The elder said that Luo Kuen's fighting spirit was considered one of the best. He definitely couldn't be defeated so easily. And since Luo Chun defeated him in just one move, perhaps he was still able to awaken his fighting spirit, furthermore jumping several levels at once. The Lord told his subordinates to quickly find him and bring Chun back. Guy told the chapter that when he expelled Chun from the family, it was facilitated by the Yi family. If you bring him back, won't that provoke the Yi family? The elder told the second elder that he was just afraid that if Chun came back, he would take the young master's place again. And then how will his grandson Luo Kuen be left with nothing, right? The guy told the elder not to talk nonsense. His grandson has nothing to do with it. The elder told the head that he personally severed the connection between them, so he thinks that Chun will definitely not come back unless he personally asked for it. At such a young age, could already defeat the second-level martial spirit, he could definitely become the Luo family's support in the future. Ryu is standing against him. Will he be able to compete with her? The Lord told them to obey his orders. Use any methods, but to find and bring Chun back to him. Chun waited for the guys to fall asleep, and taking out the book he said that it was immediately obvious that this book about martial spirits was written by the Wu family. And aside from the basic 3 types of battle spirits, there are at least hundreds of other different types. And all the common martial spirits are clearly described here. It's a pity there's no information about his fighting spirit. Chun went outside and realized that he didn't know if Wu had any other books. After looking at the book and deciding that he would have to go see him at the Qinfeng Pavilion again. After arriving at the pavilion, Chun was walking in the crowd, and suddenly someone grabbed his arm and stopped him. It was a little girl. She told Big Brother to give her alms. Immediately, under hypnosis, Chun said he obeyed. Chun took all the money out of his pocket and put it in the girl's plate. The girl thanked him and smiled. Chen's strength brought him to his senses. Chen thought what had happened. He's a spiritual warrior with second-level martial spirit. Was tricked by this little girl, and didn't even notice it. But if it wasn't for his fighting spirit, he might never have regained consciousness. His gold coin was gone before he could even blink. Immediately he looked around for it. Chun realized that if this little girl wanted to kill him, he would already be dead. Chun left that for later and headed to the pavilion. Chun told Brother Wu that this book recorded so many different types of martial spirits. Wu said he wouldn't brag about it now, for everything recorded there, his family had learned over the years. And in Wulin County, books from his Wu family are considered the best, and no one dares to argue with that. Chun said that this is truly true. Their family has great knowledge. Chun realized that Wu didn't have any other books after all. Wu told Chang that since the academy would be recruiting students from Wulin County, the major families would definitely compete for the 3 spots. He would definitely be able to get one of the places, but is he going to enter the academy as the young master of the Luo family? Chun told Wu to cut the crap. He doesn't want to hear any more about the Lo family. Don't mention her in his presence anymore. Chun stood up abruptly and looking out the window, he saw the very girl who had robbed him. Chun said that it seems the little girl still hasn't been taught a lesson by anyone so far. Immediately, Chun headed in her direction. When the girl saw him, she stopped and again decided to approach Chun. When she came up, she told Chun to give her alms. Chun was not under hypnosis and said that he would give. And taking the peanuts out of his pocket, he put them in the plate, from which the girl was surprised. Chun said that this is what he took from him. If he tries that trick again, this brother will have to punish her. Did she understand him? The girl asks Big Bro what he's talking about. Ian doesn't understand him. Chun asked her, does she want to run away? She understood exactly what he was talking about. Chun applied his abilities and realized that this girl had a fighting spirit. How was she able to awaken it at such a young age? The girl started crying and was telling Chun to let her go. And then people came over and asked, what's going on here? Isn't this the young master of the Luo family? The girl started playing to the crowd and told passersby to tell Big Brother to let Ian go. She didn't have to beg for alms from him. And since Big Brother won't give him some money, it can't be helped. Ian will have to starve. People all started to be mean to Chang and said that he didn't want to give alms. so he was also going to beat her. The woman said that she didn't expect that Chun was not only a waste, but also bullied little girls. Chun raised his head and said with a smile, the girl was so small and already deceiving people. It seems that he should teach her a lesson. Chun grabbed her under her armpit and was already intent on slapping her ass. The girl shouted for him to stop and not dare to do such a thing. And then the girl grabbed his hand and said to Chang, he really dares to bully a little girl in the middle of the street? Chun told Ms. E that she couldn't stop him. Immediately, Chun released his hand and kicked the girl's ass. The girl screamed that she was in a lot of pain. People saw all this and said that he was shameless and a real scum. He told Chun that he was a jerk and quickly stopped it now. Chun said there are a bunch of idiots here and this girl is a little thief. Chun told Yi that she was a stupid girl. And it was the little one who used her fighting spirit to cheat and steal from ordinary people. He was just teaching her a little lesson. Chun saw that it was the petite one acting too well. She already had a practice scheme. Chun told the little girl that she had better keep her mouth shut or that brother would have to smack her ass again. And then someone said, young Master Luo Cheng. The boy turned around and saw a familiar face. The man told the young master that they had finally found him. Chun saw the clothes and realized that it was a guard from the Luo family. The guard told his men to quickly disperse these filthy beggars. The guards told the men that that was it. The show was over. He said that they looked down on everyone. It seems like everyone in the Luo family are arrogant bastards. The girl told Misu that they better go back to E. After all, their family had already severed all ties between them. If they recognized her, it could end badly. Isn't that the young miss from the Yi family? He doesn't know if anyone has told them that Wulin County has been very turbulent lately. Ms. E asked the guard what does he mean by saying that? Does he want to force her to stay here? Chun understood that although Miss Yi was very talented, but the guards of the Luo family are battle-hardened, they are not easy to defeat. Chun decided to take them on and asked, didn't they come for him? Had Luo Xiaotian decided to bring him back? The guard said that the young master is really smart. They came to him on his family's orders to bring him back to the Luo family. Chun said that this young master is a mere scum who can in no way be called a young master of the Luo family. The guard told Chun that he shouldn't joke like that. He was undoubtedly endowed with great talent since they were able to defeat Luo Kuan in one move. Chun must have reached at least strictly the level of martial spirit. Hearing this gave her a thought. Luo Chun had been hiding his true strength all this time. The guard told Chun that the head said that as soon as Chun returned, he would personally open the ancestral hall for him and re-identify him. Did Chun think he was being re-identified? What does his father think of him? Does he really think he's a dog that comes and goes at his master's beck and call? Chun said that he no longer had anything to do with the Luo family. He won't go back with them. The guard told the young master that he shouldn't say that. And if the young master continues to insist, I'm afraid then, the chapter will have to personally hurt the little beggars in the ruined temple. Chun couldn't help himself and grabbed him by the shirt asked, is he trying to threaten him? Stas said that young master's talent is amazing, only pity he is still too young and inexperienced. The guard said that if he was disrespectful, he apologizes to him. Chun told the girl that he can't scold her anymore, so don't do that again. The girl asked, will Big Bro go with these bad uncles? Chun said yes, as long as he doesn't have the strength to straighten them out, so he will have to listen to them. Chun told the guard to accompany him. And those two are not related in any way. They should not pursue them. Stas told Chang that these are the family members of E. He can't escort him alone. Wouldn't it be better to leave the rest of the guards with them? Chun showed the magic and told the guard that if he thought he could make him go back alone, leaving these guards here, then he could try it. Let him do as he was told. The guard said he understood the young master. As he left, Chun told Ms. E that she was a stupid girl. Walking through the doors, Chun said he had only been gone for a few days, but already it felt like things had changed around here. And then everyone started talking, for everyone to look at. Wasn't this the scum of his Luo family? Could it be that he couldn't survive outside and decided to come back? The guy started saying for everyone to look carefully. Luo Chen and Hong crossed in front of the entrance. But this is so interesting. That scumbag Chen couldn't survive outside and crawled home to ask for permission to stay. Chan saw that there were a bunch of retards here. He had never seen them before. It seemed the Luo family didn't care who to take into the family anymore. Chan said that's fine. Luo Hong had previously bullied him. It's time to repay her. and he shouldn't worry about them being from the same family. Chun told Hong that she is a pathetic mongrel. When she sees her young master coming back, shouldn't she show respect and greet him? Hong said that Scum was actually bragging about his former title as a young master. Did he want to die? And then someone said that Hong doesn't have the lineage of Lo's family, and she hates being called names because of it. Chun dared to insult her, but Hong's cultivation had already reached the peak of the first level of martial spirit. Something was about to happen now. Honey asked if some scum dared to insult her, and then she attacked him and said Chun had anticipated this and was able to dodge her attack. Everyone looked at this and was very surprised. Hong said for Chun to stop dodging, and took her blow. Immediately, she attacked again, and Chun dodged her attack again. Chun saw father, who stepped out onto the threshold and came to see them. Chun stopped, but Hong didn't want to stop, so Chun grabbed her hair. Chun applied his strength and realized that she wanted to see what he was capable of. Let her take a good look then. The elder asked the head, is he not going to help him? The head said his Luo family doesn't need scum. If he can't even defeat Hong, then there's no point in taking him back. This time, Wushu Academy would be recruiting students in their Wulin County. Those who qualify will be given Tanlo's pill. He needs it. The head looked at his strength and said that he had been stuck at the 4th level of battle spirit for over 20 years now, and the Tanlo pill could expand his soul. Then he could hope to break through to the 5th level of martial spirit. Someone from his family must pass the screening and get that pill. So far, Chun has the biggest chance of passing. Han told Chun that she would kill him. Chun said, nah, stupid mongrel, she really decided to kill him? Chun made Han open up, and immediately picking up the moment, he launched his attack and Han sealed herself into the ground. Chun said that a mongrel will always be a mongrel. Next time he will not be so merciful. The guards and all the people were surprised, and asked how would a mere scum be able to beat up Hong like that? The head told Chang to reach the 2nd level of martial spirit in his 12 years. He is really impressive. This kind of talent is what his family needs. The head told Chang that since he had returned his talent, wouldn't he want to return to the family? If he returned, the title of young master would also return to him. Chun told the head that he must be joking. The guard asked Chun what he meant. The head asked Chun what did he just call him. Chun said that the head of the Luo family, Luo Xiaotian, was standing in front of him. The head said that Chun is an ungrateful child. He didn't even call him father. Chun had always repeated to himself that he was still only an adopted child. Not only did he expel him from the family, but he also rejected the bloodline. That if he wanted to, he still could. Chun asked him, did he really think he had the right to call the head of the Luo family father? The head said that although Chun is not his biological son, he still raised him for so many years. If he wishes, he still can. Chun said he didn't need to. He only came back today to break the relationship with his family. The head, after all, never thought of him as a son, but only wanted to use him. The head said that after a few days, Chun really managed to surprise him a little. Now he would start talking to him seriously. The head told Chun that the Luo family had treated him well over the years. Did he really think he could just cut all ties with them like that? The boy said that he, Luo Chun, will never forget the goodness of the Luo family. Moreover, he will even enter the academy as a member of the Luo family. And then he, Luo Chun of the Luo family, would no longer owe each other anything. The girl said, did the head really want this offspring to return? And would the position of the head of the Luo family be inherited by this loser? Chun realized that Tiando Empire was very big. He could go anywhere. The Luo family is too small. And then a guy came up to Chang and said that his master was inviting him to the banquet. Let him follow him to the Qin pavilion. Coming to the pavilion, Qin Wu said that he congratulates Chun on his victory over Hong. Let it pass immediately. Chun told Wu that his informants were working fast. No sooner had he left Luo's house than they were already rushing to congratulate him. Wu said that he only wanted to say that with such talent, Chun could easily become the best of the best. How could the Luo family be indifferent? But Chun didn't know half a month ago. This place was full of academies eager to recruit new students. Chun said then, what about the representatives of the known academias? Were they here? He heard that people from the Wushu Academy also came to Wulin County to recruit new students. Chun said it was funny. What kind of geniuses must reside in Wulin to attract people from a famous academy to come here? Chun realized that Wushu Academy. Was it all because of that stupid girl? Wu said that Chun is so talented. Maybe they came here because of him? Chun didn't say anything and remained silent. Wu said, "Does Brother Chen really care about enrolling in the academy after half a month?" Chun said that there are many talented spiritual warriors in Wulin. If entering the Wushu Academy is just a normal competition, then even though he is a cultivator, his combat experience is not enough. Wu said that if Chun wanted to increase his strength, he should go to the spiritual monster mountains to practice and gain experience. Chun said that Wu was talking about the mountains beyond Wulin, but he had heard that the place was now abandoned. Wu said that in addition, it was now an extinct place, and the number of spiritual monsters was limited, and even children from powerful families could only practice at the edge of the mountains. Chun said that apparently now the only way to increase his strength in half a month is to get there. Wu said that in any case, even if there were only 2 low-level level 2 monsters, it didn't mean that they didn't pose any danger. There are many terrifying monsters deep within these mountains that can destroy Wulin. Hence, it is a forbidden area that no one dares to enter. And every year, many people go missing in those mountains. Now Chung should think it over carefully. After all, he is incredibly talented, which means there is no need for him to commit this reckless act. Chan said that in order to enter Wushu Academy, he would not miss any opportunity, even if it was just a ray of hope. At the Yi family's house, the guy said that they had encountered a level 3 spirit monster. Only he managed to escape. Brothers and sisters. Today they realized once again that no one knows when they will die. Yi Ji's family head said that his family members were mortally wounded. Is it really a level 3 spiritual monster? Ji said that they met a level 3 monster a long time ago. Inside a spiritual monster like this, there must be a soul crystal. He asked what was the soul crystal. The guy said it was the special crystal located inside his body. And the higher the level of the monster, the higher the level of the crystal. Even a level 1 crystal is incredibly useful for a spiritual fighter. He asked, so is this level 3 crystal very strong? The guy said that the spirit monster is stronger than ordinary ones in all aspects, and some of them are much more cunning than humans, so it's very difficult to catch them. Head Ji had said the right thing. If they could get their hands on a level 3 soul crystal, it would be a huge advantage. The head said well, and told them to immediately head to the spirit monster mountains, that she wanted to take a look at it too. The head said that no way, these mountains are full of danger. How could she afford it? The guy said that the level 3 crystal was just a small low-level crystal. How could it be more valuable than her life? After she enrolls in the Wushu Academy, he will give her level 4 and level 5 precious crystals. Missy was outraged by this response and said that if he didn't let her go, she couldn't go to them. Chun didn't hesitate and headed towards the spiritual monster mountains. Upon entering the city center, he was very surprised. The man said that today is such a bad day. He found a couple of ordinary monsters. Chun said, "This place is so lively, almost like Wulin." Chun asked the gentleman, "Are there many people in the mountains today?" The man said that usually there are not so many people here. A level 3 spirit monster had recently appeared nearby, and now more and more people were trying to catch it to retrieve the soul crystal. The man asked the young man, "Did he come here alone?" And here is the advice to him: let him find a few more people to organize a group. Chun thanked him for his advice and handing over the coin said he would take them all. While Chun was putting the change in his pocket, a familiar guy from the Luo family walked by and slammed into Chun. The guy called Chun a petty bastard and asked, "Did he also come here for the soul crystal?" The man told Kunio to shut up immediately. "A lot of people come here, so don't let him talk too much." Kunio asked his grandfather, is he still afraid that Chun could become the head? The little bastard came here alone, and apparently he won't live to see tomorrow. Chun said they brought a lot of people here. Is it all in vain? The guy said that he didn't think Chen's father would be the city to them upon his return. So just try not to die here. Chen immediately realized that if he met a monster, he must take the crystal. Chun walked into the forest and was running away from someone and said that there really were a bunch of half-spirit monsters roaming around. And then the snake attacked him. And Chun, seeing this, pulled out his knife and was able to dodge its attack. Chun used this moment for a decisive attack and cut that snake into 2 pieces. Chun looked at it and said that this monster is bigger than he expected, but this is only the outskirts, so it is full of half-spirits. Before he could rest, the beast saw Chun and immediately pounced on him. Chun noticed this and dodged the attack. Chun released his knives and killed this monster from above. Chun stepped on it with his foot and began to think. But these half-spirit monsters are something between normal monsters and spirit monsters, and so fighting them is harder than normal monsters, but they will never compare to level 3 monsters. Chun used his healing magic and said that even if his martial spirit healed him, he wouldn't be able to withstand the energy that would gather within him. And now Chun realized that that gentleman was right. It would be easier for him and his team. No, he needed a place to recover his spirit. Otherwise, when he met a level 3 spirit monster, he would die. And then Chun stood still for a long time and heard strange sounds. He turned around and saw a bear coming towards him. Missy stood there and said that her father was right, geniuses aren't born. But would she really die here? The bear pounced on her, and he managed to jump over him to avoid getting hit by his fangs. And immediately hovering above the bear, he managed to use her powers and direct them towards the bear. But the bear was also very strong, and Ye's attack didn't scare it away. He was surprised that her attack didn't even hit him. This wild bear, he's a level 2 spiritual master. The bear didn't like this, and began to improve his strength, and turned into an even stronger and fiercer monster. He thought she was using a sheet of defense, but the bear just walked up and crashed into it, breaking the defense. He lay on the floor and cried. She begged the bear not to come near her. The bear decided to attack, and he was already resigned to death. Chun saw this and did not hesitate to pounce on the bear and hit it. He opened her eyes and saw Chun and was surprised. At this time the bear stood aside and covered his face with his paws. But when he came to his senses, he turned and roared. Chun said, "It looks like legs are useless here. It would only make the monster angry." And then he thought and decided that he would use it to train his arms. Chun pounced on the bear, and sliding across the grass, dodged the blow and moved behind its back. Chun said that it looks like this bear is stupid and clumsy, however, it has a fast reaction. So Chun decided to attack it from behind. But that didn't solve anything again, and Chun made him more angry. The bear showed its full strength and pounced to attack. Chun was not intimidated by this, and like a brave warrior, he also headed towards the bear and punched it with his fist. But this did nothing for him, and here he used a knife and tried to pierce it, but the skin was hard and would not let the knife enter. Chun now realized that it was an earth spirit monster, which meant that it had a hard-skinned body and couldn't be pierced by ordinary weapons. The bear decided to attack and hit Chun directly, causing him to fly backwards. Immediately, Chun got into a fighting stance. Chun opened his eyes and saw the silhouette of a bear and realized he was being attacked and immediately dodged. Chun hid behind a tree and realized that he was no match for this bear. We need to figure out how to escape from here. The bear forgot about the girl, and seeing Chun headed after him. And then Chun saw a great chance to escape and used it. Chun took Yi in his arms and decided to run away. He didn't like this and called him a pervert. She asked him what he was doing. Chun told her to hold still if she didn't want to die. But the bear slammed into the tree, apparently hurting his arm and getting stuck. He thought about it and looked closely and said that this jerk wasn't that bad. He asked him, doesn't he have a level 2 martial spirit? Why did he decide to go to such a dangerous place? Chun asked, what about her? She didn't have a protector from her family with her right now. He could just steal her away. He said he was a pervert. Chun said whether she believed it or not, he just didn't want to leave her here. He could have used her as bait and gotten out of here easily. But instead he wastes his powers on her. He didn't like it and asked Chun, how dare he? And then they both fell silent and looked away. When they opened their eyes they saw a pack, and Yi said it was a 3-eyed wolf. And now they're attacking them. Chun grabbed Yi, and falling to the ground protected them both from the wolves' attack. He knew that it was an air-type spiritual monster, indicating its incredible speed. He told Chang that he couldn't let him run away and not worry about her. Chun said she's a dumb broad. Let it be just a cat or a dog, he doesn't want to die. And if he escaped, she would stay and die here. He rubbed her consciousness and fell asleep. Chun put her gently on the ground. Chun said that every martial spirit has some skills attached to it. Could it be that his skills are only capable of healing? Chun began to release more of his magic and was ready to fight those wolves. But from his magic, plants began to appear on the ground. Chun said that he didn't even want to think about it. They are air-type monsters, which means it's in his best interest to deal with them as soon as possible. Chun raised his hands up and immediately the plants appeared in front of him. Chun thought, is this really his martial spirit skill? Chun put his vine into action and attacked the wolves by binding them with plants and immobilized them. The head found out and said his young mistress was gone. So why are they only telling him now? Did they eat too many pancakes? The guy said to Sister Ryu, did she really go to fight a level 3 spirit monster? When they let their guard down, that Ryu was famous for her genius talent from an early age. She is the lovely jewel of their house. If something happens, the head broke the mug and told them to disappear. Even if he had to interrupt all the monsters in the mountains, he would find the young mistress. Chun was looking up at the sky at that moment and saw the rain gathering, but the wolves kept standing tied up by the plants. And then blood began to flow from the wolf's mouth, and Chun saw that the wolf was coughing up blood. Had the three-eyed wolf been poisoned by his martial spirit skill? Chun felt sick, and immediately he fell to the ground. He thought that the spirit monster was physically stronger than a human, but even so, he died. And then smiling he thought, what if you applied such a skill on a human? Surely they would die immediately? He thought it was an ordinary plant spirit, but he didn't even realize that it was so brutal in battle, and even uses a rare poison. This fighting spirit is not as simple as it seems. And then Ms. Yi woke up and told Chung first of all. The guy touched her head and said she had a fever. Chun told her to wake up and stop sleeping. He told Chun not to leave and pleaded with him. Chun enfolded her to him and told her not to be afraid. He wouldn't leave her, no way. Chun led her to a secluded place and told her that if this continues, her life will be in danger. He doesn't know if he can help her. Chun said that no matter how, the fever must be dealt with first, and immediately channeled his energy into Ra's body. Chun saw that Ra was changing his appearance and his power was working against her. Chun touched her forehead and realized that the fever had passed. Chun began to think that first the wild bear, then the three-eyed wolf, and on top of that stupid wench, he had exhausted all his spiritual energy. Chun also passed out from such intense fatigue and immediately fell on Ra. And then Ra woke up in the morning and saw Chun lying beside her. Ra was frightened and immediately shouted to Chun. The guy stood up abruptly and crouched in a stance ready to fight. Ra said Chun was just trying to take advantage of her. Bastard, you pervert. Chun said she was a stupid girl and ordered her to open her eyes. And then Ra thought about it and realized it wasn't like that. Ra said Chun was injured by a wild bear. Isn't he in pain? Chun turned his head away and said it was nothing. Ra said she was worried about him, so let him be kind enough to answer her normally. Chun took the plaid and said that since it was already morning and her fever was down, she should quickly get out of here. And if she meets a level 2 monster again, he's afraid she'll be in for a rough ride. Ra asked him, what does he stay? But it's dangerous in these mountains. With his current level, they can't survive. Chun said that the path of a spiritual master has always been thorny and difficult. If he is afraid now, what will be the future? After fighting, he feels his skill level has increased. So now he is sure the only way to pump up his skills is to fight and fight and fight. Ra said, what Chun is practicing so desperately, if it's all about getting into the academy, when did she become so sure that she could help him? Ra said that she has a special fighting spirit, so she can nominate a candidate. Wasn't she the one who had a level 5 martial spirit awakened? Jian bad. However, it's nothing special, right? Ra said that in general she had awakened the twin spirit, and immediately she demonstrated her abilities. Chun said that only someone with incredible talent can awaken the spirits of the twins. No wonder she is so confident in helping him get into the academy. Ra told Chun to leave the mountains together. If he spent a couple days with her, he could enter the academy without an exam. Chun thanked her and said that he will definitely enter the academy, but he only wants to count on himself. Ra realized that the martial spirit continent was so big. She doesn't want to leave her in Wulin County. Chun was running away from the monster and saw that it would not stop. The moment he dodged the beast's attack, the bear released its fangs into the fray. Chun turned around and saw the monster's fangs flying at him and said that things were bad. Immediately landing on the ground, he used his vine magic. The bear tried to break away from them, but the vine was clingy and immediately immobilized the bear's movements. Chun saw that this guy was as strong as the 3 ordinary monsters combined. His branch could only hold him back. The academy entrance exams will start in a few days. He can't forget about the monster for a while, but Chun couldn't understand. For some reason the bear kept pestering him. Immediately, The bear unhooked itself from the laser and rushed to attack. The bear managed to get his hands on Chun and punched him so hard that Chun was sealed against a tree. He started waving his arms and shouted, "Stop fighting." Brother Bear understood him. Chun said he's been chasing him for days and there's no way he can escape. His bones are broken. So why doesn't he just kill him? The bear did not understand him and growled in response. Chun closed his eyes and immediately saw the bear handing him a pill. Chun asked him, "What is it? Does he really want Chun to eat it?" Immediately, Chun began to eat it. Chun began to feel a neopanin energy. He realized that this plant had healed his wounds so quickly. The bear also showed him his paw and Chun said that his armor is very strong. He can't believe he could leave such a deep wound. But this cut looks weird, like there's something inside. And then the bear started to show him that his paw was sore. Chun asked the bear, is he trying to ask him to cut his wound? Just then, the bear took the wood and put it in his mouth. Chun said that for a few days the bear had been chasing him, and he began to use his soul control skills. It looked like he was just checking him out. So this bear was just looking for the right fighter to ask for his help. Chun said, in that case, Brother Bear, sorry. Immediately, Chun took out a knife. Chun opened his eyes and said that it was expected. But Chun didn't stop and launched several more attacks. Immediately, the knife broke. Chun said that after all, this blade was forged from ordinary iron. Yes, with the use of soul power, it became stronger, but not so strong that it could cut through skin. The bear got tired of waiting and broke the wood in its mouth. Chun told the bear that you can't do that with a blade like that. Immediately the bear took Chun on his shoulder. Chun started to trot and asked the bear what he was doing. The bear led him to a place and Chun told him to let him go to the ground. Chun looked around and wondered why the miasmas were getting thicker and thicker. He didn't realize that there was such a ferocious place deep within the gorge. The bear tossed Chun aside and showed him one creature, which at that time was lying down and not moving. Chun was surprised by this and asked, "What is this? Is it really a dead dragon lying in front of him? Is there really a dragon resting in the depths of these mountains? But this dragon is full of treasures. Even its scales are very valuable. Not to mention the dragon in its entirety. If he took it, he would become very rich in this world." The bear couldn't speak and just guided with his fingers. Chun said that the bear wanted him to approach him. The bear at his question started nodding its head. And Chun immediately began to approach the dead dragon. As he got closer and closer, Chun began to feel a dragon aura that he didn't understand. Chun realized that the bear wanted him to train here. If he could adapt to the environment here, he would have no problem facing a strong enemy. Chun said that since the entrance exams would start soon, just then the bear put a paw on him. Chun stopped in surprise and asked what was he doing. The bear took him by the sinew and threw him straight to the dragon. Chun didn't understand at first, and then began to pass through the dragon's aura. Chun looked at his image and thought, had the aura gotten stronger by getting closer to the dragon's body? The bear saw that Chun was failing and immediately decided to come over and help him through the aura. Chun said that it was no wonder the bear's physical abilities were so remarkable. He had used the dragon aura to purify and improve his body. Although master souls are able to increase their strength with cultivation, but even so, a weak body is a big problem. One mistake and he's dead. But in large families, the eldest members go hunting to bring the blood of a strong monster to the heir. And now he has a great opportunity, so he should try his best at it. In the Yi family's territory, the head said that people from the academies and martial arts schools had arrived here 2 days ago, specifically for her. But in their family, Yi is growing the first genius in Yulina. He is so proud of her. And they won't interfere with her choice. No matter academy or school, choose what you like. But at this moment, Ro was thinking and didn't know what happened to Chun in the Spirit Monster Mountains. The head said he was thinking special quota. The remaining 2 seats will be assigned. Ro told her father he could keep 1 seat for her. The head was surprised and asked Ro why she wanted him to reserve a seat for her. Ro said she wanted to give the seat to Chun. He said he wanted to go to the academy. The head told her not to even think about it. The Luo and Mu families are claiming their marketplaces and she wants to give him a place. Ro told her father that if it wasn't for Chun, her daughter would have died in the mountains, and besides, he cut ties with the Lu family. The head told her to stop thinking about him. It's been a long time. I think Chun died in the spiritual monster mountains. Go cried and left saying that if he did not agree, he could take away her quota too. she did not need it. The head thought that this little bastard must be dead by now, and she was still asking for the E family's special quota. The head told the guard to keep a close eye on the situation. As soon as Chun appears, after 3 days, Chun kept practicing and improving his skills to become much stronger and tougher. It seemed strange to him, and how did all this heavenly and earthly energy penetrate his body? Penetrating fully, its energy swirled around him and placed him in something strange and eerie. Chan saw that the martial spirit plants in front of him were absorbing spiritual energy. Chun saw that air mass behind him. He thought, what is this? This crystal is capable of absorbing most of the soul power. Chun was not intimidated by this, and immediately he touched the crystal and she began to absorb it. Chun opened his eyes and wondered, what was this incredible devouring power? Could it really be a new spirit? Chun realized that the one he had awakened is a twin spirit. Since he is damn good at absorbing, he will call it the absorbing martial spirit. Chun saw that this absorbing spirit was very strange. Not only could it absorb the power of the earth and heaven, but it would also absorb about 90% of his body. He's very special, almost absorbed all his energy. He shouldn't miss an opportunity like this. Considering the time, I'm afraid that the academy enrollment has already started. Chun turned around and told the bear to forgive him. He had some important things to do. He would be back soon to help him with his wounds. Mishka didn't like that this guy had left him, and immediately rushing at him, he saw only his trail. Chun, because of all the speed, ran and wanted to catch the participation. But in a moment he stopped and saw the houses. At the tavern, the guy said that the E family had never been so influential. Nowadays, everyone in Yulin tries to flatter them, and it's all because 2 martial arts academies offered 2 special seats to Ms. Yi. He also heard that Yi Ji was furious when he heard that Mrs. Yi wanted to give the quota to that fool from the Elo family. And then the man shouted that this is nonsense. No one has seen Chun since he entered the mountains. I think he died there a long time ago. Anyone can get a quota. And at this moment, Chun walks into this pub, but no one recognized him at first. Chun told the landlord that he needed a good room, also a bathtub and new clothes. The host turned around and said with fright, "Is this Luo Chun? Have them take the guest to the room." But walking up the stairs, Chung stopped and looked at everyone as they were surprised at his arrival. The guy said Chung is still alive. Let everyone spread the news that Chung is back alive. Big things are coming. The head asked his son how Ro was doing. The boy said, still firm. She doesn't believe Chun is dead. He will definitely come back alive. The head told Wei that this quota was his, but now it belongs to a dead man. Wei said that, by the way, Luo family is still in the hall, don't think so. The head said no. This Chun is just a piece of shit. There were several people standing in the E family hall waiting for someone. But then a guy from the Mu family came in and his name was Chun. He asked who he was looking at. Isn't that the head of the Luo family? Is he so shameless that he even bothered to come here to ask for a seat? Head Luo said, speaking of shame and conscience, hadn't the Mu and E families been feuding for years, so what happened now? Did the fish really crawl out on dry land? Isn't it because of Chung? He died in the mountains, that's why they came. And then the head of Lo stood up and started poking at Chun. Just as suddenly a few birds flew in and brought news. Head Luo started laughing loudly and said that Chun was a bastard. Let them go and bring him to him. Chun said that after his long absence, he had finally returned alive. The boy told his father that he had already seen Chan's strength, so I'm afraid they won't be able to get the quota. Yun also got the message and said that Chun was sure he got it right. The man was telling all the people they could make sure of it. I swear he's upstairs. Why on earth is the whole of Tslin so excited over some garbage? And then the girl told the guy not to call him trash. She had seen with her own eyes how he had defeated Kuan. Not to mention that he had a great future ahead of him. And then Kuan came in and said that no wonder Miss Yi is in love with him. If these families can unite, they won't be equal in all of Wulin. Wei jumped up and asked them, what are they doing here? People asked, isn't that young Master Yi? He really is here because of the engagement. Wei said they're here to kill. If there are no suicidal people here, then stand down. Wei asked Kuan, why is he pretending? Isn't he the one who hated Chun the most? If he teamed up with him, he could once again shine as the young master of the Luo family. Wasn't that a win-win solution? Kuan said that, by the way. As soon as they heard that Lo's family had awakened a genius, they immediately ran to beg them to renew their engagement. The Yi family has now turned their backs on them, and Wei is trying to tease him. How ridiculous. The girl asked Kun why is he talking to this scum? Kun said that lately, he hasn't been living up to the chapter's expectation. If of course he makes a mistake again, head Luo will definitely kick him out of the Luo family. Wei told Kun that after he said that he didn't care about the number of Luo family assholes he killed. Several fighters from the Yi family attacked Kun, and the guy used his diamond hammer. Kun drew his weapon and managed to set it in front of him for defense. And then Kun was very surprised by it. The girl was very surprised, for it was the same fighting spirit as Kun's. And now he was no match for him. The guy attacked the girl and said she better worry about herself. But the girl dodged the attack and managed to strike back. The Yi family guy didn't bother to cool down and immediately started attacking again. But then Chun came out and tossed them all aside. He asked if this meant that the Yi family was now Master Wulin. The girl called Chun a scumbag and said it was his own fault. Let him leave them out of his problems. Wei told Kun that it seems not everyone in the Luo family are idiots. This girl knows better than him. The girl said Luo Kun. The Yi family had produced a genius with a dual fighting spirit. A brilliant future awaited her. Now the Yi family is willing to do all the dirty work for them, so why don't they just give this scum away? Kun shouted to Hong and asked, what kind of nonsense is she talking? Does she want to dishonor their family? Chun said, since when did the servants of the Luo family start making big deals? Luo Kun. That's a bad dog. He should be punished. Hong pounced on Chun and asked what he said. Chun didn't speak to her and immediately launched an attack. Chun said that a dog that wants to bite its master is a bad dog. Hong thought, when did this kid become so strong? She can't hit him even once? Hong told Wei what he's waiting for. Let them fight him together. Wei said she would be a burden, that she would drag him back. Wei said that Chun had reached star level 2 cultivation, but alas, he would have to fight him. Kun told Chun to be careful. Wei is at the peak of his level. He is known as an invincible man at his level. Chun released his vine and asked Wei, he is the unrivaled genius of his generation, right? He really doesn't know who can be so unlucky. Wei allowed the vine to cover him and said it was fantastic. Immediately he released his beast and snipped the vine. Chun thought that the beast's fighting spirit adds a lot of strength. Is he really a 2-star fighter? Wei attacked Chun and told him not to hide. He thinks he's only worthy of the quota because of his valor. Chun asked, what the hell is the quota? He doesn't care about any of this at all. Dual martial spirits. What's the big deal at all? Wei said that he didn't know what methods Chun used to embarrass young Miss Yi. But a scum like him wouldn't be able to get a quota. Wei stopped and asked Chun, what did he say that there was nothing unusual? Chun said that from beginning to end, the so-called admission is unreasonable. And as for the open quota, thanks to Yi Ro, it's good that they are fighting. Wei said that he prayed for the quota, and Chun called it useless. Wei attacked Chun with an attack and said that he would kill him, and immediately used a lone wolf fist attack. Kun said that Chun was insane. Who in their right mind would start fighting Yi Wei's wolf, his worthless plant spirit? Wei said that Chun was an idiot and he would cut off his worthless arms. But here things turned out differently, and Chun managed to break his wolf. Wei said that there was definitely something wrong with Chen's strength. It was as if the contact between him and the martial spirit had been broken. In a moment, there was an explosion and Wei missed the attack. He said that a good job was done by Chen. And now he's confident. Wei, come back and tell Ji that Chun will enter the academy by himself. No one needs this stupid quota. Wei told Chun that he was in no position to ask him to deliver his message, but he would explain everything to the head. Chun thought and was glad that he had tempered his body with the dragon gorge. Otherwise these hands would have been useless. Kun told Chang that the head of the house had sent them to take him home. They happened to run into the people of the Yi family here, so don't talk nonsense when they come back. Chen asked them where to return to. He Chun is no longer a member of the Luo family, and has nothing to do with young master, so stop acting out. Kug said it didn't matter, he'd already said what he had to. It was up to him whether he came back or not. Chun said that he doesn't care either, it doesn't concern him anymore. He has somewhere else to go. There were many people gathered in Qin Feng's house, and they said that they had come here to visit young Master Luo. Yun said to brother Luo how many people want to meet him. There's not enough room in the Qin house for everyone. Chun laughed and said that they were all weaklings. Yun said Luo defeated Wei and became the strongest in the ruling district. And now, regardless of the academy's status, there would be a place for Brother Luo in it. Why don't these people just hurry up? Chen asked Yoon what about him. Is he planning to use him the same way he used those people? Yoon blushed and told Chang that it hurt him to hear this. When Brother Luo was in trouble, this younger brother had given him gratuitous help. Had Brother Luo forgotten about this? Moreover, the martial spirit continent respects strength, and he is just a businessman. Brother Luo is gifted in martial arts, he inevitably thinks stupid things, right? Chun said that Brother Yoon was right. Not only did he not humiliate him, but he really helped him in his time of need. Yoon said that today was the last day, the entrance test, so why didn't he escort Brother Luo to the evaluation place? Chen said that's a great idea, and then someone shouted from outside for the guards to let him in. At that moment the boys stopped and wondered who it was. It was Xiao. He was shouting to let him pass. He is a good friend of Chun. He has something very important to tell him. The guards pushed Xiao in and said that there were many people here to see Mr. Luo, and he was just a beggar who wanted to join the others. The man punched Xiao and asked, "Where did this little beggar come from? How dare he call himself young Master Luo's friend? After all, Master Luo is a respected person. If he is his friend, he will call him grandfather." Xiao said that whatever he was his friend. But then the man was about to punch the boy, and someone threw a rock at him. The man said, "Who was that? Who dared to attack him from behind?" Then Chun jumped out and said it was his grandfather's friend. The man fell to the floor and asked Chun how he knew him. Chun said the man dared to hit his friend. "Is he sick of living?" Chun asked. The man told young Master Chun that he was blind and mistaken. The man said to his younger brother, "Grandfather, let him ask young Master Luo to have mercy on him." Chun said he hates people who step on other people's faces. "Get him out of here." Chun asked younger brother Xiao, "What is he doing here?" Xiao bowed and said to young Master Luo. Chun asked him, "What? Young Master Luo? Why can't he see him?" Chun told Xiao not to worry, he is still Chun. After all, nothing could spoil their friendship. Chun asked where Xiao Wu was. "Call him, he'll buy them chicken feet." Xiao told Chun to save his brother. "He is sick and dying." Chun asked the guy what did he say. Chun grabbed Xiao and told him to guide him. Yoon jumped up and told Chun that today was the last day of the entrance exam. Think about it, he wants to give up. Chun said his friend's life is much more important than some exam. The boy told Wu that he had brought Chun. Xiao told Wu, "Why isn't he waking up? Let Chun help him." Chun used magic and told him to hold on. Why was his body still so cold? Why didn't his fighting spirit work? Chun said, "Why do people who are really good to him end up like this? All he has left at the end is a bunch of lying supporters." Chun and Xiao accepted this and dragged his body outside to burn it. They both watched and prayed that he would find peace of mind. Xiao said to Wu, "It was good that he was gone. He wouldn't have to suffer the scorn and bitterness of this world." Xiao said that Chun had almost exhausted all his spirit power to save him. Don't blame him for this. Xiao told Chang that it was time for them to go. He is the master of his spirit. He has a long way ahead of him. Don't stop at this small abandoned temple. Chen asked Xiao, "How so?" "This is the fate of a person with an awakened martial spirit. A serious illness, a blizzard, anything could be too much to bear and he, sooner or later, would die too." Chun told Brother Xian that he had been thinking. He will leave the ruling district to see the outside world. It might be hard for them to see each other after this farewell, but their friendship would always be in his heart. Xiao was awake at this time and heard everything. He thanked Chun. He hoped he would have a bright future. Ro asked his father, had Luo Chun really left the ruling district? The head said he was seen leaving the city at dawn. Yi Ro, she hasn't chosen a direction yet. The instructors are waiting for her. Tell her to hurry up. Ro told the head that her daughter was leaving. Let him take care of himself, father. Immediately she climbed onto her bird. Ro thought that with Chen's talent, if he showed up for the exam, he would be able to get into the academy. Why is he already without even saying goodbye? Chun kept walking and saw that the blizzard was getting stronger and stronger, and he couldn't even see a place where he could take a break. It looked like he would freeze to death. Chun began to feel his body weak, and immediately closing his eyes he collapsed into a snowdrift. The men heading through the mountains to the city stopped on the way. One of the men got out and saw Chun lying under a snowdrift. The man told Ms. June that someone was lying in the middle of the road. The girl carefully got out and asked the driver. The man said no. and he seems to have lost it due to the long journey without food and in the cold. June thought about it and realized that they couldn't leave him here to die. So she told old man Xiao to take this child to the carriage. Xiao picked up the child, and then on his way to the carriage, a man stopped him and said that they would be arriving in Bayun Valley soon. What if he was their spy? Xiao told the man that he was just a child. Does he really have the will to leave him to die here? Does he even have a heart? The man said a lot of nicer people die every day and he takes care of this little rascal. The man told Xiao to give him this child. Even if he's not a spy, he's still a burden to them. June didn't hold back and came out and told them both to calm down. And they shouldn't talk. June said they have a huge responsibility and they're going to argue now. She's taking responsibility. Get the boy inside. June laid him on the bed and started to drink hot tea to bring him to his senses. Chun opened his eyes and asked the girl who she was. The girl said she was June Lee and the guy was lying unconscious in the snow. Nothing serious, but he should rest. Chun thanked her and called her a fairy sister. For saving his life, he would pay her with kindness in the future. June said he was too young to pay for kindness. Let him remember, if a bad guy hurts her sister, he will have to protect her. And then someone from the street told Miss June that there is a valley of white clouds ahead. Does she really want to take this road? Xiao said that although the White Cloud Valley is the closest to the city, it is notorious for bandits. And if they want to face the brigands, they won't be able to do anything against them. June said that if they take a detour, when will they arrive at White Cloud City? Xiao said the detour will take at least 7 days. June said no, the delivery deadline expires in 2-3 days, they can't delay. And they will enter the valley when it's dark. June told Xiao that the June family had broken up after her father's death. If this fur deal fell through, not only would they have to pay a huge penalty, but they would also have to rebuild the damaged reputation of the June family. And now he couldn't let that happen. Xiao listened to Madam and agreed, and was ready to go all the way. At this time, the third leader of the White Cloud Bandits stood on the cliff and watched those guys. The gang leader said, "It looks like the information is true. The big sheep is really here." And then he pointed his sword at them and told his men to attack them and kill everyone there. June saw an arrow that hit right into her cart. She warned everyone to be on their guard. Xiao said it's terrible. These are all the bandits of the White Cloud Valley. June came out and said, "Get them ready to fight." June didn't hide either and started fighting them too, and didn't give a single chance to the bandits. Xiao told the second mistress that they were prepared. Most of them have 2-star cultivation, and the head has at least 3 stars. And at this rate, they won't be able to stop them. The man said this time was his fault. That guy she saved is probably a spy, and if they want to die here, let them die themselves and he will run away from here. Xiao shouted that this guy was a coward. Suddenly, the gang leader appeared in front of him and immediately cut him down. Did he think it was a dream? Felt like he had been there before. But when exactly? Chun began to smell a very familiar odor to him that was coming from the street. He wondered what was going on out there. When he opened the curtain, he saw many dead bodies and people running away from the scene of the battle. Chun thought, why are there so many dead bodies here? Had they fallen into a bandit trap? No way. He needs to rescue them quickly. Chun attacked the bandits and immediately releasing his vine, killed several. The blood of the bandits lay on his face. And now he realized that it was the smell of blood. Looking behind the carriage, he saw the gang pressing June. She was yelling at them to stay away from her and leave her alone. The gang leader grabbed her sword with 2 fingers and said that it had been more than half a year since White Cloud Village had opened, and he had not only made a fortune now. The leader with 2 fingers broke June's sword, and immediately she fell to the ground screaming. The leader grabbed June and said that he would still get such a cute beauty in addition. June cried and started saying that even if they killed her, she would never go bad. But June always kept a knife behind her, and here grabbing it, she pulled it out and pointed it at her throat. Turning back from the screaming of the horse leader saw that they were heading towards them, with some guy driving. Chun said for June to climb faster. Immediately reaching out his hand, the guy told the third leader that the girl was running away. The leader told them all to go out in pursuit. Don't let them miss them. Send someone to guard both exits of the White Cloud Valley. June says the furs are stolen. Her guards are dead and badly wounded. She's running away, but the bandits are chasing her. At this rate, they'll catch her. Chun grabbed her waist and pulled her closer to him. He told June that maybe they could get together. Get together? Asked June. Chun said that the speed at which the wagon was traveling was low, they would catch up quickly. It's better to jump off now and let the empty cart chase. Chun grabbed her into his arms, and immediately at an opportune moment, they both jumped off. They hid behind a rock, and when they saw the people running after the wagon, they believed they had all bought it. Chun sighed and said they were safe now. June kissed Chun and said he was so smart. Chun said that even now that they have escaped, it won't be easy to survive. And they have nothing. If they don't die at the hands of bandits, they may starve to death or freeze to death. June said that, honestly, this is the first time she's been to the White Cloud Valley. She is not familiar with it, but she had heard that it was a very unusual area, with rugged mountains and lots of caves. And then Chun asked what other caves are there. June said yes, they are said to be interconnected and have an intricate structure like a labyrinth. But the caves are damp and cold, and if you get stuck in them for too long, you're very likely to die already there. Chun said that there were no other options, so let's hide in the cave. Immediately, they headed on their way. June realized that she was a 2-star fighter, but she was exhausted after the chase, and this guy wasn't even tired. June told Chun to stop knocking already. What is he even looking for in there? Chun said he found. The sound from the stones of the wall sounds muffler here. Perhaps this is the entrance to the cave. Chun took out his fist of green and said he would try it. Immediately he broke the stone and found the entrance. Chun smiled and told Sis June that it was time for them to go. June asked Chun who is he? Is he a spiritual martial artist too? June was shocked and asked him how many stars he had. Chun smiled and said he had 2 stars. June noticed that Chen's talent is amazing. He's much younger than her, but he already has 2 stars. No wonder he's so calm and unflappable. June said okay. Little Chun must have a lot of nerve, trying to make fun of her by pretending to be younger. Chun told Sister June that he is no longer a baby. According to the laws of the Do continent, he can marry her after 2 years. June said that Chun was a very sly talker. On the way to the cave, June noticed a man's foot and was very frightened. Chun, seeing this, caught her, and immediately together with her, they collapsed into the cave that was even lower than them. Chun found himself on top of Zhong, and looking at each other, they looked at each other shyly, and immediately moved away from each other. Chun raised his head and said that the cave is very beautiful. June said that she didn't expect it to be so beautiful under the White Cloud Valley. After walking for a few hours, Chun told June that they have been here before. Are they really going around in circles? June started waving his head and said that they were lost. If they were lost in this cave, death by starvation would catch up with them here. And at that moment, June became very sick and passed out. Chun grabbed her and asked her what happened. June realized that she had been injured in the previous battle, and now that she had almost exhausted all her strength, she couldn't tolerate this cold air in the stone cave. Chun told June that he had something special in his soul. Could he show it to her? June agreed and said she trusted him. Chun immediately applied his abilities. June understood and thought that it would take a long time to recover from injuries, and Chun is very good at it. Chun stopped healing her and asked if she was feeling better. June thanked him and said she felt much better. Chun told June that White Cloud Valley is a notorious place. They could have delivered the mech by going around it. Why did she choose the most dangerous path? June said that the deal was offered to them spontaneously. Time was short, so the clan elders decided to put her in charge of the trip, and ordered her to act without error. To save time, she took the shortest route. After her father died, she and her sister were the only ones she could rely on. And in recent years, under pressure from other big families, the Zhong family has been in decline. And now that their furs have been stolen and the June family has nothing to sell, she is afraid that this will make the situation within the family worse. Chun immediately realized that there was something wrong here. There must be a traitor. The bandits of the White Cloud Valley knew that they would come attacking them. Perhaps this whole deal is a trap. Chun said that they should go. After all, this place is bad for her injury. They better go and find a way to get to White Cloud Valley City faster. June asked him, but how will they get out? Chun told her not to worry. He understood where to go. After so many contrived laps, June was walking and thought such a complicated cave, but Chun seemed to have completely memorized the route. A genius who never forgets anything? Chun found a way out and told June that she hadn't fully recovered yet. Let her wait here for a while, he would check outside. June said she would be here waiting for him, but have Chun be careful outside. A few people had a vacation and one of them was saying that thanks to the letter, they could follow the third boss to get some money and then go and have fun again. The other guy said that for sure, but it's a pity that Miss June, so pretty, ran away. Otherwise, it would have been something. And then Chun released his strength and squeezed their throats, asking. The boys screamed in pain and asked the hero to spare them. They don't want to die. Chun hated such people, and just with his plants, he killed one of the bandits who attacked. Seeing this, the second guy was startled. Chun asked, who had informed them that the Zhong family's wagon would pass through here. The guy said it was the Zhong family. Someone informed the third boss that the second mistress of the Zhong family would go through the Bayun Valley with the cargo. Chun became completely curious and asked that besides him, how many other people were hiding in this valley? The guy pointed his finger and said there were 24 more brothers ambushing the road ahead. Chun spared him and let him go. And then the boy, smiling, thanked Chun for not killing him. But Chun wasn't so stupid as to leave behind witnesses, and immediately pierced the guy's chest with his vine. Chun realized that if he let them go, they would still die, but after letting the others know what they knew about the ambushes. And now, in order for them to get out of here unharmed, they need to get rid of all the bandits, especially the ones sitting in ambush. After passing through the valley, Chun decided that he would destroy everyone to open their way into the city. But one of the bandits, seeing this, decided to run away. But Chun noticed him, and immediately grabbed him and killed him on the spot. June was standing outside, wondering why Chun hadn't returned yet, but had encountered some danger on the way, and then Chun jumped behind her. June couldn't help herself and was scared very badly from such a rumbling sound. When she opened her eyes, she saw Chun. He told her that he had not expected her to be so timid. June slapped his chest and asked why he was teasing her. Why was it taking so long? She thought he was in danger. Chun said that he had scouted everything. A few one-star bandits are not enough for him to intimidate. June said that in that case they could get out of here quickly. Chun said that when he was on a reconnaissance mission, he heard them talking. Someone informed the White Cloud Valley bandits of their location. That's why they were ambushed. June was surprised and said that it was all someone's nefarious trap. Immediately, she headed for the valley. But Chun grabbed her arms and wouldn't let her go. June told Chun to put her down. She needs to go back and find out who the traitor is. Chun said if she goes back now, she'll go straight into the lion's mouth. And considering all the pitfalls in the family, this case is very strange. So they could go to Bai City as planned and investigate it secretly. June wiped her tears and said that Chun was right, and she would definitely head to Bayun City. After passing through the pass, June saw the corpses of people, and immediately headed towards them. June told Chun if he could see several groups in ambush along the road. Or was it Chun who took care of all those people, she asked. Chun said he didn't know if it was like this before. Maybe someone set it up after seeing the ambushes, and that they saw on the road there were at least 24 people there. It was too frightening if he did it alone. Chun told June to move faster. They would surely make it out of the valley by dawn. Upon arriving at the gate, Chun told June that he would give her a treat once they entered the city of Bai. June said that after paying the toll, he would probably only be able to buy a few meat buns with that gold coin. Chun asked what was the toll. Why hadn't he heard of it before? June said that Bai City was the third largest city, and non-locals in the city were required to pay a toll to enter the city. Not only that, the higher the level of the city, the higher the fee you have to pay to get into the city. Isn't this just a black town? The man at the booth told them to tell their names and pay the toll. After writing down their names, Chun and Zhong were stopped at the entrance, and immediately this man cashier came running out. Chun asked, what's wrong? They paid their money, why can't they enter? The man said that they have tightened control recently, so they will have to authenticate this coin. They need to wait here, then they would not go into the city. The man threw away the coin and said, they must not wait here. If they do not enter the city, they will insult their hospitality. Chun saw this man as a 3-star soul master. No, is this a trap for them? The leader came to Elder Zhong and said that just as he had promised, he had stolen the furs and killed the people. The leader asked June if it was too little. 3,000 gold coins? That wasn't something they would be satisfied with. June said the deal was to get the furs intact, but they delivered the cart authorized in a puff of smoke, so how much more do they want? The gang leader said it was true that the fur wasn't in the best condition, but they took care of his problem. If he wishes to take control of the June family, There is a young wench in Leeching. They can still work together in the future. Zhong threw the sack and said, "Here's another 5,000 gold coins. Let him take it and get out." But then a guard ran in and said, "Head June," in his ear information, from which he was very surprised. June stood up and asked, "Isn't this girl dead?" With so much anger, he broke his throne with his own hands. Chun and June stood outside, away from the entrance so as not to dishonor their reputation. Chun saw that so many people have passed into the city, but after hearing their names, they don't want to let them pass. This is just an excuse to detain them. June asked Chun, "Are they really going to be attacked?" Chun said, "Right, this fatty deliberately showed his strength so that they would be shocked and stay here." Chun said that this old man doesn't act directly, he's just stalling for time. And then head June came out and said, "Ms. June is here." June said it was her new friend Chin. But then a fat man ran out and asked Mr. June why he was here. He will follow his orders. Head June said she was a few days late, and he told the guard at the gate to pay special attention to her appearance. June said they had to go, and when they returned they would talk. At this time, Chun watched everything and remained silent. Chun said that this branch of Bayun City is so splendid. The Zhong family is definitely not simple. June asked Ms. Li, "Did the journey go smoothly?" Li told the Grand Elder, "Their caravan was attacked by people from Ryun, but traveling through Bayun Valley. This time, it suffered heavy losses." Zhong jumped up and said that Ryun village was so brave that it even dared to attack the Zhong family's caravan. In these very moments, Chun watched head Jun's behavior and saw how nervous he was. Immediately, he showed his strength. Chun saw that this great elder's aura was much higher than Luo Xiaotian. Is he already a 5-star spiritual master? June asked Ms. Li, "Is she not hurt?" The head told Manager Wei to wash the hour with friend Chun. The old man and Ms. Li have something to talk about. Wei told Lord Luo to walk with him. Chun stood up and looked at June and agreed. Wei told the servants to tax him like the Lord himself. Did they understand everything? But then Chun realized that the elders had purposely distracted him and kicked him out of the room. Most likely that he was in cahoots with Ryan Village. If that's the case, Jun Li is in danger. But the strength of a great elder is no less than 5 stars, and Wei's actual Mila is not much worse. If anything were to happen, the probability of D and him being able to escape is extremely low. Chun stood up and said, what he didn't expect was that there were so many masters in the city. His cultivation was insignificant compared to them, and now it looks like all he has to do is wait, better acquainted with his fighting spirit. During the battle with Wei that day, the mysterious devouring battle spirit had a marvelous effect. Diving inside himself, Chen thought, why was his spiritual power weaker than before? Could it be that it had been absorbed by the devouring martial spirit? But he knew that this martial spirit could absorb and block the evil spirit's power. If he mastered the martial spirit skill using absorption, then he may also have an element of surprise when he faces a strong opponent in the future. But he knows too little about it. Diving into the deepest part of his sphere, he moved to a strange place, where he saw the very same dragon. Chun realized that it was a spirit beast mountain range. There seems to be a connection between the Spirit Eater and the Spirit Beast mountain range. It was too hasty to leave Wulin County, and Brother Xiong's matter could only be resolved by returning to the Spirit Beast mountain range, after increasing in strength. And then the doors opened by themselves, and Chun asked in a surprised voice. Chun didn't risk straight hid behind the door and thought, who came this time? The old man or Master Wei? Seeing the man's leg, Chun realized that they really wanted to separate them, but it wouldn't work, so he immediately decided to attack. Seeing a person completely, Chun stopped in surprise and saw. Li asked him what did he just want to do. Chun said nothing, he just mistook her for someone else. After Elder Zhong ordered Wei to put him down, it looked like he wanted to imprison him here. There was clearly something wrong with him. Li said he was a fool. She was the one who asked Wei to keep him in the room in case something happened. Chen asked, what about Elder Jun? Li said that the Great Elder had lived in Bayun City for many years, and his base for improvement was unfathomable. It is said that even 30 years ago, the Great Elder had already reached 6 stars. And then Chun surprisingly said, it is unknown whether Jun was actually involved in the theft. But that's not the main thing right now. The Jun family is in danger and this could really mess with their reputation, making it worse for all of them too. Chun asked Li what her plan was. Li said that her sister Zhongxianjin is now in charge of Leeching City. If something happens to her in Bayun, Elder Zhong will be implicated. Guancher Wei is here, so they're safe, but to avoid a long night, she will go to Leeching tomorrow to avoid missing this year's freshman exam for the martial arts college. Chun asked Li, is she a freshman at the martial arts college this year? Li laughed and said that she was not a freshman. Roughly speaking, she is a potential sophomore. Now she is preparing in the sophomore freshman evaluation. Li came up with an idea and asked Chun, why doesn't he go with her tomorrow? After all, the Zhong family, as a special class family, would have a quota every year, and getting into a martial arts school with his talent would definitely not be a problem. Chun thought about the martial arts college quota. He doesn't know what happened to Yi Ro and what she chose in the end. Does he happen to want to go back to Leeching City first, and then he would think about enrollment? Chun said that he would definitely think about it. The next morning, a carriage was brought to them for the trip. Li walked out and thanked the head for taking care of her these past few days. She would be sure to tell her sister about it when she returned to Leeching. The gang leader came and asked Elder Zhong, would he just let them leave? Jun said it was fine. This time, Wei would escort them himself, so it wouldn't be much of an inconvenience. The Yi family will have to pay dearly with an eye on how Big Sister will deal with the problems. Chun looked out the window and asked Sister Li, are they going to cross the Bayun Valley again? Isn't she afraid that the people from Riyun will attack again? Li said that Wei is with them this time. If they dare to attack, it will be worse for them. Chun said that he didn't know that Sister trusts Wei. Is he really that strong? Li said that Wei was his grandfather's servant. Even though he didn't achieve everything his grandfather achieved, but no one considers him weaker than him. Chun thought and wondered, what would happen once the Zhong family got into trouble? And then Li looked at Chun without removing her gaze. Chun thought about it and said to Li, maybe she won't look at him like that? Li asked what happened last time in Bayun Valley. 26 bandits killed, 3 of them masters. She knows it's all Chen's doing. Chen asked her what is she talking about. He can't understand her. Li said that she doesn't want to talk about it, but she wants to remind him. Sis knows that Chun is very cruel and harmful. Master Leeching is like a cloud. All the powers are intertwined. When they get there, let Chun not cause trouble. The rules in this city are quite strict. Heaven Do Imperial City is divided into 10 royal cities, and Leeching City is one of them. Upon arriving in the city of Leeching, the guard told the carriage to stop. Before crossing the border and entering the city, they must check them thoroughly. Wei told Second Mistress Yi is already here. The guards want to search everything. Li said they don't have time for this kind of nonsense, and then the guard heard everything and asked, did they not hear? The guards have to search them. And then the gold was thrown out of the carriage, and the guard caught it. He realized what it was and immediately let them into the city. Chun asked Li, is this the city of Leeching? What an angry man. Li said Leeching is one of the top 10 cities. Naturally, it won't be as pitiful as Bayun either. Chun said that he thought Bayun was big enough, but compared to Leeching, it was nothing. Li told Chang that it was time for them to go, for his little sister would take him home. Immediately they headed for the gate. As they got closer to the gate, they heard someone yelling for the gate to be opened. Chen said that it looked like someone was causing trouble. People shouted, what ruler thinks he can hide for long? Zhongxian, come out. They've come for him. Li said that although the Jun family isn't the same as before, but that doesn't give anyone the right to stand and riot in front of the gate like this. Li sent Wei to go and find out what happened. Wei bowed and immediately went to carry out the order. The girl came to Madame and told her that the Zhong family store had recently been closed. Many servants had secretly left the house. After her father's death, the condition of the Jun family deteriorated a lot. Just then Li came running in and yelled to her sister that she had come home. She hugged her sister and told her that she screwed up the deal. Ms. Jun said for Li En to cry. Let them go into the house and talk quietly together. Chen saw that it was Ms. Jun. She is quite young to lead such a large family. Although they have Master Wei with them, there are more and more people with callous hearts. No one should be trusted. Jun said that Satyr Wei had lived in Bayun for a long time, and thanked him for visiting Leeching. Wei said he was worried about Sister Li. Zhong asked if she could inquire who the young man was. Li said that it was Chun. Thanks to him, she was able to get to Leeching safely. Immediately, Chun greeted his sister. Zdun laughed and said that Mr. Luo really stands out. She didn't even expect it. Lee ran up and asked her sister, what was she talking about? It wasn't what she thought it was. She meant that there were 26 bandits in Bayun Valley and almost all of them were level 2. He was able to overpower them all, and thanks to him, she was able to escape. And then Wei realized that the elder hadn't noticed that this kid was tough. Chun smiled and said it was just an accident. June said okay and told Master Wei to help Chun look around. She would talk to Lee in the meantime. June said Lee had to go through a lot. Lee said she's sister was on the cusp of death. We're surrounded in Bayun Valley, and it certainly looks like there's a traitor in their June family. June says that they have a lot of underground rats in their family, and they're not going to hold back any longer. Lee told her sister that she saw a lot of people rioting outside. June said they had their furs stolen and owed a large amount of money for breach of contract. Even the pharmacy was closed 2 days ago, and Mo's family came to their rescue. But she wants to ask her to get engaged to their family. Lee asked her sister, why is she suddenly saying this? Sister said that now the June family is in decline. Leeching's way of life has also changed a lot. The Mo family is ranked 3rd out of the 5 strongest families. This time, they helped them solve the problem. Besides, it was the master's suggestion. She can see that he likes Lee, so why don't she think about it? Then the guard came and told the lady that Mr. ML Chung had arrived. They were both surprised at his arrival. Chun at that time on the street said that the Zhong mansion is just huge. No wonder Master Wei doesn't want to show him everything. The guard told the master that Lee was tired after the long trip. Why wouldn't he come another day? Mr. Mo Chung said not to worry, he will wait for her. Don't disturb her. And then Chun came in and asked the guy who he was. What happened to Jun Lee? The guy asked Chun, does he know Lee? His name is Mo Chung. He's the second lady's future fiancé. And then Chun thought, when did Jun Dee's little sister have a fiancé? She is so proud. How could she love someone like him? And then Mo spread his hands and said that it was true. Chun thought and realized that considering how many things happened to the Jun family, he didn't know if he was an enemy or a friend. So it was time to realize it. Chun told him to leave. Sis is unlikely to like someone like him. And then Mo said he was strong. Mo charged his hands and immediately channeled the energy directly into the stone. Chun thought that even though he looked like an idiot, he was a 3rd-level warrior. Maybe he's not such a bad choice. Wars like his have always been known for their defense. Also for their fierce fight against ugliness. Known as the genius of Wulin City, must be far behind him. When he was practicing in the mountain beast range, he steeled himself every day. If he didn't use his fighting spirit, he wouldn't be better than him. Chun said yes, but he's still not good enough. Let's put it this way, if Mo can withstand his punch, he'll take her to Sister June. Mo asked Chen, would he attack? With so many skinny arms and legs, even if he won't defend himself. Stop talking nonsense. If he fells him, he will never come back here again. Mu said he agreed. Chun gave him the advice to defend himself. His punch is strong and I'm afraid it might even kill. Mo said there was no need. Let him start. And then Chun gained strength and attacked and said whatever Mo wants. Mo saw that Chen's punch was even stronger than the 2nd level. He needs to defend himself. And then Chun saw that the guy was caught. Chun charged this attack so hard that Mo flew back a few meters, but managed to stay on his feet. Mo stood looking at Chun as he suddenly started spitting blood from his mouth from the heavy blow. Chun realized that fortunately Mo was scared and used his spiritual power to defend himself. The blow was absorbed, but it was still able to wound him. Mo wiped the blood off his face and said with joy that they should definitely fight again. And then Lee came out and asked them what they were doing. Lee went up to Chung first and asked if he was okay. Mo told Lee that she had it all wrong. They just had a little fight and it also hurt him. Chun told Lee that brother Mo is right, it's really a misunderstanding. Lee said she would deal with him later. June approached Mr. Mo and told him to take the medicine. She immediately told him to take him to the house to heal his wounds. Chun saw that there wasn't much blood. Was he really June Lee's fiancé? Lee grabbed Chen's ear and said that she knew Mo was naive enough. Admit it. It was his idea, wasn't it? Chun said that so many bad things happened to the June family. He was afraid Mo would be a bad choice for her, so he was trying to figure out how things really were. And then she realized that it was a concern for them. June said that Mr. Mo was known for his strength. And Chun had hurt him badly. Chun told her not to exaggerate. June said that recently many elders have been pressing for family distinction. She asked them to come to discuss it. Lee asked her sister in surprise. Did they threaten her? June said that now that the store is closed and they owe a large amount of money on the contract, there is nothing that the elders want to stay away from. Wei said that if Mr. Zhong is still a warrior with 8 stars, who dares to look down on their family? June said that after what happened to her father, June's family lost a lot. Lee asked her sister what will they do. June said that she was going to take her back to the martial arts college first. Next she would stay alone and try to reach 6 stars as soon as possible. Chen asked June, is she already level 5? Sis is also a student of a martial arts college. Lee said her sister is the youngest teacher since the college was formed. Tonight will be the final battle of the 5 stars. June said she heard about no from Lee. Even though he missed the entrance exam, if he still wants to enter, why doesn't he break into the hall? What else is there to break into the gym? Chen asked. June said yes, if he can break even 1 college record, maybe he will make an exception. Lee said, still considering that only the elite studied there, it would be impossible, wouldn't it? If whether she hasn't tried it, how can she know it's impossible? The next day they came to the house and Chun asked his little sister what they were doing here. June said that there are different implements sold here. How can Chun go to a martial arts college without purchasing at least some? June said she wanted to find some special materials here, and they could go look around. If they found something useful they could buy it. And don't worry about money. Lee asked Chun what type of spirit eater was his favorite. Chun saw that there were so many of them. Any one of them could cause a fountain of blood. And then Chun saw the sword and touched it and was told to take his hands off, because she wants him. The salesman told the lady that they were the first ones. Would she like to see anything else? And then she punched the salesman and said that's what Madam wants. Chen asked her, does she even know what the line is? And besides, what right does she have to be people? Just then, the girl turned around and headed towards Chun. The girl examined Chun and said he was cute. Let him follow her. Chun pushed her and asked, what's wrong with her? Let her leave immediately or he will hit her. The girl didn't back down and asked Chun, what is he doing? Lee stood nearby and watched the whole thing. Lee walked over to Chang and told him to forget it. This is just a provocation. Walking out of there, Chun asked Sis Lee why she was stopping him. Does he even realize who this girl is? She has an average soul-devouring level. And then Chun interrogated her. Chun said that he thought this girl had 3 stars. But what's bothering his little sister? Lee told Chun if he noticed the hammers in her hands. If she wasn't mistaken, they were mid-level items. Lee said they are usually made from natural materials and earthly treasures. And they are different from ordinary weapons. They have their own soul power and complement the soul power of the master. However, the level of compatibility also comes into play here. The higher it is, the more effective the weapon will be. Chin asked Lee, so this girl won't be so easy to deal with? That's exactly what Lee said. Besides, she's quite rich for such a young age. It seems her origin isn't that simple either. Chun told Sister Lee that the Jun family is going through the worst times right now. It's not a good time to make enemies. So let's go to another store. But then Chun noticed they were being attacked. And the guy pushed Lee away from him and dodged the girl's attack. Didn't she tell Chun to follow her? Chun said she was crazy. They didn't want to get into trouble. And now it looks like he's going to have to teach her a lesson. The girl asked if I could teach her a lesson. How presumptuous. And immediately used the power of the hammer. Chun stepped on the hammer and immediately released his greens. The girl asked him, did he really think it would work? She tore the greens and told the guy to only dream about it. Chun stood and watched, but was very surprised. Lee watched from the sidelines and said it was bad. Their compatibility is very high. Chun will get hurt. Chun understood and saw that this abnormal was indeed difficult to deal with. But there was nothing to be done. The girl immediately let out an attack and told the guy to get what he deserved since he disobeyed. Chun applied his defense hands. But the force of the girl's punch was so high that Chun flew backwards. That's when the girl started looking at him and realized that the guy wasn't dead. But then Lee joined the fight and immediately attacked her. The girl managed to dodge Lee's attack, and Chun came up and immediately launched a green attack right into her arm. The girl cut the greens and saw blood start to run down her arm. Chun said that if he were her, he wouldn't move because she was poisoned. The girl asked Chin, does he even know who she is? Chun said he doesn't know who they are. All he knows is that she humiliates others by their cultivation and background. But then Lee came over and told Chun to wait, She asked if the girl would die, even though she is brash, but more innocent people will suffer if she dies. Just then, Chun sighed and started walking towards the girl. Chun grabbed her hand and started to treat her. The girl was frightened and asked him what was he doing. Chun said for her to calm down. She'll die if she keeps moving. Chun said that no matter who she is, it doesn't mean she can do as she pleases. Doesn't mean something she wants her to do. And then the girl sighed and asked, what is he trying to teach her? Chun said that if she didn't listen, he would make her suffer a lot more. The old man told them that it was not easy to run a small store. Let them be quieter. Chun picked up Lee's sister and said it was okay and they should go. Just then the girl told them to stop and asked what was his name, and then the guy turned around and said his name was Luo Chun. The girl insulted him and said she had memorized it. Heading through the market, Lee asked Chun, is he sure he's alright? It was quite dangerous. Chun said that fortunately he had experienced worse, so it was no big deal. Lee said that was good. Chun said he needed to get stronger as soon as possible. If only he could get mid-level weapons. A crowd gathered in the middle of the town and shouted, what a big yellow stone. How much is it worth? The guys walked to the front and Lee was surprised and said, what a big rock. I wish I could buy it, said the man standing next to me. Chun asked his little sister what is Huan used for. Lee said that it has many function. It is even used for medical purposes. However, this is the first time she sees a stone this big. But then Chun noticed something and didn't realize what he was looking for. Is the boss responsible for discovering this stone? Chun was surprised and asked, how could it be him? Lee told Chun that although this person was young, he was already a master of Horcrux. Master, Chun asked. A master of Horcrux is a special person, with a reputation akin to a doctor of the soul. They always have a multitude of talents, and of course legend has it that they have the power to open the world and close the hole. How could it be him? Shouldn't he be at the martial arts academy right now? Where did he come from in Leeching? But Lee looked at it for a long time, became very curious. Why did he have such a high level? June walked over and said Luo Xin, the son of the Luo family in Imperial City. Lee turned around and was surprised to see her sister. Lee asked June, is the Luo family in the Imperial City? June said that the Luo family are real aristocrats. Even when the June family was at its peak, they were always the top families. Luo Xin is very talented, but he also has a promiscuous character. As the young master of the Luo family, he is now a 3-star martial spirit master. June said that if he wasn't from such an esteemed family, he would have been expelled from the academy long ago. June said that he was invited here saying that it was an ordinary stone. Although the Luo family is very rich, but still 30,000 gold pieces can go missing. Chun said he didn't think anything could happen. The old man told the guy that he hoped the guy would take responsibility. The guy threw the money and said, here are their 30,000 coins. The man grabbed the sack and was very surprised. The people standing nearby were saying that this guy was so rich. Let the yellow stone worth 30,000 gold coins be broken now. The guy says for them to open it now. He wishes to see what's inside it. The old man asked, right now? In front of 100 people? Lee said strangely, why is the boss nervous? Chun said that if they didn't open now, everyone, both the master and the audience, would be disappointed. He paid quite a lot, that's why he wants everyone to see it. The man pulled out a knife and said he would do it. The guy stopped him and asked if he was sure that was how the stone was being broken. He'd lose the coins, wouldn't he? The guy grabbed the knife from the old man's hands and said he would do it himself. The boy put the knife in front of him and through force cut the stone. People were asking what this nonsense was. Inside nothing. Had 30,000 coins been spent on nothing? The guy smiled and said they were idiots. At that time, the stone began to glow and to fall apart a little at a time. Lee was surprised and asked what was going on. June said that it looks like the spent gold has been reimbursed after all. The boy sighed and realized that he must have won. The old man said he'd lost. It turned out to be the best yellow stone. And then the crowd gathered around the guy and yelled that they would pay as much as the guy wanted. But then the guy recognized June and asked what she was doing here. June turned around and said they had to go. The guy grabbed her hand and asked, does she remember him? After all, it's Luo Xin. June pulled her hand away and told him to let go of her. The guy was mistaken, but then Luo Xin heard a familiar name to him. Turning back, he saw a guy he knows. June asked Chen, do they know each other? Chun turned his head around and said no. And Luo answered yes. Luo started to tell them everything and mentioned about Zue. Jun was curious and asked who Zue was. Luo ducked his head to the side and said it was Chen's lover. Jun asked him, is he trying to get a divorce? Luo said no, let Jun listen. Yizhou wanted to enter the academy. Jun said that's enough humiliation. Even though they went to the same academy, but now he's a student and she's a teacher. She has absolutely no interest in weaker people. Jun told Chung again that they should go. Luo said that she was very much mistaken. How could he be weaker, much less humiliate himself in front of her? A servant came to the head and said that most of the Zhong family's stores were now in their hands. Mog, the eldest son of the Mo family, said, "Great job. The boys did a great job." The servant said to Mo if he didn't think that if the young master knew, and what did Mo ask? Jun and Mo are just puppets, no matter who they marry, especially now that the Jun family had lost their former strength. After all, sooner or later this creature will fall into his arms. Then he will think how he can amuse himself with her. Jun asked Mr. Luo how much he wanted to stay in Jun's house. Luo asked her if she had forgotten about their friendship. Now that he's in Leeching, isn't she going to shelter him for a while? Jun asks him why he's so blasé, and then a guard came and said to the first lady. Zhong said he was in such a hurry. Let him discuss the division of the family? Jun told the two elders that today was not the day for the meeting. What happened in Bayun? The elder said that he had heard that many of the Zhong family's industries had been given to other families in Leeching. How could he stay safe in Bayun? Jun said that, like she said, they could wait for the rest of the elders to discuss. The elder said that the situation is pretty critical right now. Li asked them, don't they understand why? Jun asked them what they thought they should do. The elder said that it would be difficult for them to cope with the current situation, and he had a way to help the Jun family. But they can replace some elders with others, the second elder said. Jun jumped out and said they wouldn't dare do that. And then Mo came in and said, what wouldn't they dare? Mo said it looks like the first lady's in trouble. He can help her. Jun asked what brought him here, sir? Mo said that once Mr. Jun had a child with his Mo family. This time he came to ask for a child again. Jun said that now that her Jun family has fallen, he thinks he might drop the idea. Mo said it's hard on the first lady, but if she eats and drinks with his family, wouldn't she be more comfortable? And then Wei stepped in and told Mr. Mo to please have an edge. Lo immediately flared up and started poking Mo. Chun told him to calm down and they would see how the situation unfolded. Watching himself asked Mo. When they arranged the wedding they didn't give a specific name. Then why didn't they consider him? Jun told Master Wei to take him away from here. Wei took up his sword and asked Master Mo nicely. Mo said that's it for today. Since Mrs. Jun isn't friendly today, he'll come back later. Mo smiled and said that this mistress was not stupid. Or does he need to clarify something? The elder told the girls that eventually they would have to get married. Quit running a family. Li said it's like they're all out of their minds. They clearly need to be taught a lesson. Jun said that the level of their elders was quite high, however, if they pissed off the ML family. The elder said to Mr. Mo, given today's situation, I'm afraid Jun won't give up his position anytime soon. Will he really be able to oust her? Mo asked him what he was afraid of. She's in a dangerous situation and no one is supporting her. Mo told Elder Jun that things are different for him. He has the Mo family behind him, but he's still afraid. Elder said he was always afraid when something dragged on. If she didn't give up after all. Mo said he'd think of something else then. Mo told the elder that Lady Jun would fall, and then he would step up in her place. The gang leader burst stealthily into the house and walked into the room saying that he was saying that Li wouldn't leave his mind. Chun sensed this, and immediately released his abilities, and tied up this insolent man. The leader didn't understand what was going on. Seeing the guy he asked, how did Chun know he was coming tonight? Chun said that it was a mere coincidence that Elder Zhong and Mr. Mo came today to create trouble together. He knew that since Sis Li didn't give in to him, he wouldn't give up. So he kept his eyes on everything and nothing would slip through his fingers. Li said that's rude. It's not enough for him to steal from him. Now he's trying to blackmail him. The leader started laughing and asked, she really wouldn't guess? And then Chun said no, Li, and told her to move away. The leader blew up this vine, and immediately grabbed Li ran away with it. Chun saw this and told him to stop and run after him. But then Jun ran up and asked what was going on. She asked Chun, where is Li? The elder said they need not worry. Lee is safe in her husband's arms. If the master of the house is not obedient, you can't blame the old man for not knowing pity. Chun and the others looked at each other for a very long time, and immediately Chun made the decision to go save little sister Lee. One of the elders didn't like it, so he used magic on Chang and asked him where he was going, but he wouldn't be able to react. That's when June came to the rescue, and by blocking the attack, the elder was surprised and asked, "Is that a fighting spirit?" June told Chang that she was here and let him find Lee. Elder Zhong said that the young man went to his death, but maybe she could keep her life if she was obedient. Wei stood in front of the queen and told Zhong Lao not to be so sure. After all, victory wasn't a foregone conclusion yet. Zhong Lao pulled out his sword and told Wei that this was his stupidest mistake. Since he wanted to die with her, he would start with him. Wei was not frightened and stood up in a stance, immediately repulsing this most powerful attack without hesitation. The second elder looked at June and said with joy that he was very lucky. Immediately, he released the flower lights he had set up behind the guys. Chun caught up with the gang leader, and releasing his herbs, he tried to stop him and save Lee. Flaming arrows started coming from the sky, and Chung had to stop. He shouted loudly and asked who it was. The gang leader turned around and said with surprise that it was the master, and it was the leader of Bayun village. The village leader told his subordinate to get the people out of here. Just then, Chun attacked and said that if they wanted to leave, let them leave Lee behind. The village leader wasn't surprised by this, and pulled out his sword and cut his vine with ease. Chun was surprised and realized that this man was a third-level man and was only getting stronger. Chun didn't let go of his hands and said he had to do it. The leader asked the guy if he was trying to overpower him. But why is he trying his luck? Wouldn't it be better to leave? Chun says to forgive him, but here he gets a rejection. Chun released his vine and tied the leader to immobilize him. The leader raised his sword and said that these were two simple tricks. The leader said that he saw that the guy's soul and body were much stronger than that of a two-star warrior. Chun came very close and the leader said that unfortunately, the guy was no match for him, and immediately repulsed his attack. Chun noticed he wasn't the only one here, and this guy said he wasn't going to leave it like this. He'll never get the chance to see a show like this again. The leader and his servant did not expect such a turn and asked who was this guy. Lo asked Chun how he found him. Chun said he was there when this guy detained him. Luo said that June asked him to help him. He thinks Chun is strong enough and can't deny him the chance to become famous as a hero. Chun said Luo's skills are beyond him. Looks like he came to gawk at the show. He won't get away with it. He wants to let him, believe it or not. But when they come back, he'll report everything to June. Luo told Chun not to do that, for he was his only son-in-law. And then the leaders were surprised by their communication. The gang leader threw Lee to the floor and immediately started attacking Luo, pulling his sword out. Luo saw this, and without any exertion he immediately slapped his attacker without feeling a thing. The gang leader, holding his face, realized that this guy was not taking him seriously. He stood up again and decided to attack, but Lo dodged his attack. All of the gang leader's attacks were in vain. After all, Luo was so fast that he couldn't hit him. The leader immediately found a solution and attacked straight on. Lo didn't run away and stood in front of the blade, stopping it with 2 fingers. Luo, holding the sword in his fingers, told Chun to focus. But at the same time, Chun was fending off the attack of the village leader. Chun said Luo is talking a lot. Let him hurry up a little and finish him off already. Luo smiled and said that time was running out, so he couldn't play anymore. Let him wrap it up already. Lo let one of his best moves sink into the ground, and immediately the crystal expanded and slammed into the leader's chest. Chun saw this masterpiece and said Luo had done a good job. The village leader thought and saw that this guy was a servant after the first strike, and now he's got to get rid of the kid fast, or there could be trouble. Chun gets another strong attack, but managed to withstand it. Luo looked away and asked Chun if he could help him, and that's when Chun said shit. He had exhausted all his strength to deal with him now. Luo told Chun to not hide his strength, finish with him quickly and help Sis June. And then Lo stepped into the fray and said he repented for underestimating. He didn't expect him to have such a good reaction. And then Lo started to evolve and the guys were all amazed and couldn't believe this beautiful miracle. Chun saw that although their enemy had guessed about Luo's hidden power, he clearly hadn't expected it to be so powerful. He had awakened an extremely rare elemental spirit. The village leader was surprised at the 5-star spirit he saw. Fighting spirit. Who the hell is this guy? Luo released his crystals and told the enemy to ask Lord Yen about it. The leader saw and said that his affairs were bad. Seeing the smoke that sprinkled after the attack, Chun rejoiced and said that it worked. But then a light was seen out of the smoke, after which it changed into the silhouette of a man, and the leader remained alive. And then both boys were surprised and couldn't believe such a thing. The leader said that he could not be killed in such an easy way. The leader immediately pulled out his trident and aimed at Luo. The boy managed to set up a defense, but it slowly began to crack. Luo stepped back and realized that their enemy's spear was a mid-level Horcrux. Chun asked him as he realized. Luo said that with his 4-star weapon, it was impossible to break such an ice shield without a mid-level Horcrux. The leader smiled and said that this guy was very clueful. Immediately he started his attacks on Luo, and the guy tried to dodge his attacks. Luo saw and realized that it would be difficult for him to win instantly, but he should try. Luo took out the aid from his pocket and told Chun that it was Pyun's Horcrux and he had created it for June, but it didn't match his spirit. If Chun can use it, let him find a way to thwart that brainless ghoul. Chun said that he began to feel his battle spirit fusing with the Horcrux. Possessing it completely, he immediately burst into battle. The leader saw this and immediately created a defense to delay Chun while he fought the other. Chun did not give up and tried his best to make his attack reach its target. And then the leader began to see that he couldn't break free. The kid's lianas are pulling tighter and tighter. Chun told Luo to hurry up quickly, because his strength was already at its lowest and everything was about to collapse. Luo released his ice sword and immediately aimed at the leader. The enemy saw that everything was heading for death and started to panic. Luo still managed to bring it all to fruition. The leader began to choke on blood as the ice entered his chest. Falling to his knees, the leader said he is coming out. He will leave this world right here. Chun took Li and said Zhong has 2 more opponents. They need to go back. At this time, June was on her knees, ready to lose. The elder said for the lady to apologize to him. Wei saw that the first lady was in danger and immediately shouted to her. Distracted by him, he forgot that there was a rival standing in front of him, who immediately injured him. Elder Zhong told Wei not to look around during the battle. Turning his head around, he saw the first lady in danger and about to die. The elder released his flower into the fray and aimed straight at June. But Wei came up and froze the flower with his ice attack. Luo asked him how dare he touch his people, and then June was surprised at how he courageously saved her. Elder Zhong looked to the side and said that these were the scum of Bayun village. He ordered that he should just kill them all and leave nothing behind. The elder heard this and released a few of his flowers. But Luo had managed to set up a defense beforehand, and the elder was very surprised that his attack was useless. Chun released his vine and then grabbed the elder. Luo smiled and told June to return the favor. June took out her magic guitar and immediately used the dragon string. The dragon string was so magnificent and powerful that the elder was just pouring out his brain. But June's strength was on the wane, and immediately she lost her consciousness. Luo picked her up and asked her how she was. June said she was fine. Chun told her to take Li to rest and let her leave the rest to them. The elder was very angry, and throwing his sword at them asked if they were the ones she should leave it on. Wei saw this and immediately blocked his attack, grabbing the sword with his bare hands. Wei was so angry that with his own hands, he immediately blasted that sword. The elder said he's an old geezer. He's lost his way. Wei said that he wouldn't let him do as he pleased in the Zhong Palace. Immediately the boys got to work and immobilized the elder. The elder smiled and said that they were counting on capturing him using their pathetic skills. The elder proved to be strong. Swinging his arms open, he immediately unhooked himself from the ropes and managed to do some damage to the guys. The elder said they're all going to die here today, and immediately he turned into something horrible called a monster. Luo said that this is the ultimate Thunder Soul skill. He uses the Vajra as a vessel to attract the spiritual power of heaven and earth, forming an electric discharge. Zhonglao was apparently already breaking through the realm of the 6 stars. They must stop him before the formation process was completed. Wei asked, and how do they do that? Trying his strength, he said he couldn't get any closer. Wei said that with his ability it was possible to break through the lightning, but it takes time to prepare. Let them find a way to distract him. Chun said okay. Immediately looking around he saw a rock. Grabbing it he directed it towards the elder. The elder saw all of this and said that it didn't even hurt him. And then Luo also joined the fight, but it was all to no avail. The elder said what other bales the boys will present. Let them show it right now. Wei came to the end and said the guys had done a good job and now it was his turn. Wei began to implement his heavenly sword formation. And reaching the limit, he launched it into the elder's energy flow. The elder, seeing such a flow of heavenly sword formation, realized that his perfection would be interrupted. The elder fell to his knees and said that he had attacked June, threatenedly, and even now he would have to deal with Wei. This was not part of his plans. It was also unexpected that the two boys, had saved June and joined forces with Wei. Well, he underestimated them. Kill, blow up as they wish. The guys decided to step aside when they saw June heading towards them. She told Elder June that she couldn't kill him. Walking into the room, June told Mr. June that he would be banished. Why was he so eager to take the title of head of the family? June asked, what did it matter now? June's family was truly great. Do you want an old man to watch it fall apart now being in the hands of two girls? Chun said it's a sham. He is so blinded by his lust for profit that he only relies on his patron Mo. June said Mo's ideas weren't bad. He ordered him to grab Maid Li and blackmail the head of the family. And then Li asked him what else did Mo order. June said what else was to make the mistress fall into his hands too. Luo got angry and said, how dare he? He would tear him into thousands of pieces and not even blink an eye. June told everyone to calm down. It's not time yet. The Mo family members are too many. If they go at them now, that I'm afraid the June family won't be able to withstand their anger. Does she just want to ignore it? June said she feels that if they slow down, sooner or later ML will get what he deserves. Just then, Wei walked up to the elder. June was startled and asked him what he was going to do. Wei attacked and said that the First Lady had given permission to let him live, but at the same time, he would no longer be able to use his power. Wei shoved him underground and immediately drained him of his strength. Cutting his ropes, June looked at himself and was very pitiful. After all, he was nothing now. Wei said that he had cut all the paths. From now on he wouldn't be able to use his spirit power. June told the elder that now he had lost his spirit. He would continue his miserable existence on another continent. After closing the city doors in front of him, the elder was very angry and told June to just wait for him. But Lo heard all of this, and immediately suddenly released ice directly into his chest, and killed him to death. Chun said that June told them to let him live, so why did he kill him? Lo said that if they had let him go to Kuin, I'm afraid he'd still be back. June said that what Luo said might have been true. Luo said that the Mo family would not get away with 10 heads if they dared to attack his woman. Chun said that the enemy who had come would not be able to overpower them, but he advised him not to act rashly. Let him just not forget that Zhongjiang is still in Leeching. Luo said he's just going to watch while the second lady of the Zhong family marries a member of the Mo family. And then Chun said he wouldn't let it happen. To avoid trouble, they would have to pull it off without even the spirits knowing or the demons smelling it. But at this moment, the guy was being beaten up on the street and shouted that MOG was so mean. In order to steal the girl, he sent people for a surprise attack. What was he barking out there? He should be glad that he was paying attention to her woman, since he likes her so much. So be it. He'll show mercy. Shui told Mo that he had memorized everything that happened today. Someday he wouldn't leave a wet spot on him either. The guys have been watching him the whole time, and Chun said that this Mo is making enemies everywhere, and this is their chance. Luo asked Chun, does he want to blame all the troubles on the Shui family? Chun smiled and said he didn't say that. Chun and Luo followed him, and at the appropriate moment they began to attack from afar. Mo managed to run out, and immediately started attacking and realized that it was an ambush for him. Mo said that he was from the great Mo family, in Leeching MOG County. He doesn't understand where they are, but why don't they come out and take their punishment? Mo looked at his carriage and realized that this was the fate of living in lichen riding, and halfway through he could be robbed. As soon as you show your status, immediately disappear. Chun decided that he would attack from afar and immediately released his vine at Mo. Mo was surprised to see the greens in front of him attacking him. He immediately dodged the attack. Mo shouted at the top of his voice, this brat is definitely not a ghost. Since he has abilities, Let him show himself. Luo came out and said that the Mo family heir was so forgetful. Mo realized that Jun's men had already come to take revenge on him. Mo said that his family, like Jun, belongs to the 5 great clans. Is Jun really going to oppose him because of a woman? Luo asked, and why not? Either Mo or him. Chun said to Luo, wasn't he the one who wanted to tear him to shreds? To act for now. Luo showed his strength in front of him, and Mo was surprised to see a 5-star soul fighter. He asked who were they anyway. Luo held out his sword and said that these were the ones who would kill him today and end this forever. And then Mo started taking on attacks and where he could dodge. Luo asked him where he ran to. Luo didn't chase after him and immediately released a couple of frozen shurikens. But Mo saw this and immediately applied his defense. Luo started to chase him, but Mo wasn't stupid either. He prepared a few needles in the moment. And at the right moment, he let them into the fight. These silver needles were horcruxes that were tempered for 47 or 49 days in order to destroy spiritual power. But even if you hit a 5-star soul slayer with this needle, it wouldn't kill the host, but it would paralyze it for a while. Luo noticed that something was wrong here, and upon seeing the needles, he immediately applied his ice defense. Mo was mortified when he saw Luo's defense. Released 2 more needles that surrounded Luo and immediately pierced his body. Luo took hold of his body and realized that they were poisonous. Mo called him a lad and said that even if not now, he would get even with them eventually. Luo saw Mo running away and told Chun to catch up with him. Chun immediately embarked on this task. Chun stood across from Mo and looked at him. Luo told him not to fight, just to buy time for the incense. Chun didn't understand him at first and asked in surprise, what was the time for incense? Luo didn't waste any time, and after applying cultivation, he realized that this poison is very strong. He doesn't know if Chun will be able to handle this guy. Chun realized that the difference between the 2nd and 3rd star was too great. I am afraid that he might be the one to die. And now he needs to find a way to hold him off until Luo has completely neutralized the poison. Mo looked at Luo and thought that despite being poisoned, there was nothing he could do to prevent him from recovering. And now he needs to break through the wielder of 2-star power souls. Then no one will block the way. Mo told Chun that if he let his uncle pass ahead, he could stay alive. Chun asked him what happens if he says no. And then Mo attacked and said that then the guy would die. Chun immediately used his defense, but he felt that this attack was very fierce. Mo said that Chun is a fool. After all, he has already reached the maximum strength of his 3-star spirit. He is already half of a 4-star spirit. It is useless to oppose him. Chun now realized that the difference between the 2nd and 3rd stars was really big. Immediately, the emu had to use the green defense body. Mo was surprised by this and said that he didn't think a kid like him would have a Horcrux too. But Mo said that however, against him, the Soul Reaper, it didn't matter. Chun also did not stand still and attack, saying, how would he understand if he did not try it? Faced with Mo's attacks, he said he couldn't do it. Still counting on buying time for incense? Chun applied even more strength to attack and told Mo to underestimate his vines. But then the vines were torn apart and Chun was surprised that he had crushed his vines so easily, and the sword went straight at him. But Chun managed to dodge, and when he saw the sword near his throat, he realized that he had passed. Mo said that if the guy didn't leave, he would throw him aside himself. And then another attack rushed in and Chun dodged it. Chun at one point started spitting blood and said that this is why this disgusting type is so strong. But Chun repeated to himself from time to time to hold on. After all, it wouldn't be long before Luo neutralized the poison. Chun kept taking all the attacks on himself and couldn't reciprocate. Mo said that he would die if this continued. Chun, because of his last strength, tries to stand up and asks who is speaking, and then he began to hear a strange voice. The voice told him that he was Luo Chun. Mo asked Chun, did he still have the strength to resist? After all, Uncle is going to have a good time. Directing the sword energy directly at Chun, Mo said to meet his doom. Luo saw this too, and realized that things were bad now. But Chun stood still and didn't move. Luo yelled to Chun to start running. Luo told Mo if Chun died, he would kill his entire family. Mo said that he has quite a few 6-star spirits in his lineage. Does Luo think he scared him? But then Luo decided that he needed to help Chun, and after preparing a projectile of ice, he released it directly at Mo. Mo didn't notice this attack, and Luo prevented him from finishing his business. Chun looked at them and saw only a muddy picture. Luo saw that something strange was happening to Chen. His aura began to stand out with red hues. Mo turned around and saw Chen too and said that the kid seemed to have recovered. He immediately attacked again. But at the moment of touch, Mo flew back and didn't realize what had happened. Had his attack really been repulsed? Mo didn't understand what had happened and noticed that Chun had become so desiccated. And then Chun started to attack and managed to tie a vine around Mo's legs to immobilize him completely. Mo saw it and asked what these dark things were. And now he's losing his spiritual power. Mo didn't take any chances and immediately fired his spear straight at Chun. But the guy was possessed by black magic, and this time he was very strong. Chun applied his dark magic directly to the spear and turned it into broken iron. Mo was surprised and said it was a double-toothed halberd. It was made of a special iron, turned into a piece of metal. Mo got angry and said that it was only a 2-star battle spirit after all. And then he released an internal energy that smacked of a gorilla's strength. Mo said his spirit beast, King Kong, has awakened, and he's now very thirsty for blood. Chun, seeing this, released his black magic again, which simply took the King Kong strike and didn't even twitch. Mo didn't realize what was happening to him again, but he could definitely see that his fighting spirit was being devoured. Chun didn't stop there and started devouring Mo as well. The guy shouted that his fighting spirit was King Kong, and then Mo snapped and told Chun to stay away from him. He's evil, and called him a devil. But Chun didn't stop there and began to devour Mo completely, leaving his body entirely in bones. After finishing everything, Chun came to his senses, and seeing Mo's body he didn't understand. Did he do this to him? Chun said that he did not expect that his 2-star cove could absorb him. No one else should find out about it. Chun was completely weakened and collapsed right on the ground. Luo finished his healing and immediately headed towards him. Luo walked up to Chun and asked him, "How is he anyway?" Chun asked Luo, was he able to neutralize the poison? Luo told Chun not to say anything about it and never mention it again. Luo saw that Mo had miscalculated his strength. He was full of spiritual power, but why did he lose it so suddenly and collapse? But let it be so, for everyone has secrets. They need to get home soon. When they arrived home, they were greeted by 2 sisters. They stared at each other for a long time. Lee said that Mo was found dead in the middle of the street this morning. Rumor has it that the Jun family settled the score that way. Chun and Luo made surprised faces. Chun asked, "Isn't it good that this guy died?" Jun told the guys, after all, Mo's death was their doing, wasn't it? Luo yawned and said that it wasn't him. It was Chun who killed young Master Mo. Lee asked Mr. Luo, "Can we put all the blame on Chun alone? He could have done it too, right?" Chun said correctly. Young Master Mo has one of the strongest 4-star martial spirit. He only has a second one. Would he be able to resist him? Lee asked him, how did he know about it? Furthermore, right after Elder Jun's trial yesterday, the 2 of them mysteriously disappeared, and that's when Chun realized they were in trouble. After all, in trying to sneak out, he'd let it slip. Luo stood up and said, "What about it? He went for a drink yesterday." Chun said, "Right, yesterday Luo took him to drink at Zue and there was someone talking about the Mo family's heir." And then Luo got angry and told Chang that he was talking a lot of unnecessary talk. Jun couldn't help himself and immediately grabbed his ear. She said that Zue is a famous brothel, and Luo actually took little Chun to drink wine in the company of prostitutes. Luo told Jun to listen to him and not blindly trust him. Jun told Chang that if he had any questions, he could go straight to Lu. Lo took offense and said why didn't anyone believe him? Chun said that Mo had made enemies, so no wonder he was killed. But now Sis Jun could live in peace. Chun said that this is a matter of special importance, so why don't he and Lu scout the situation? The head of the Mo family told Shui Kuan that she would pay with her life for what they did. If they don't hand over to Shui, she can look out for good coffins for their entire family. Shui Kuan, the head of the Shui family, said that the case has yet to be solved, and he is already standing in front of the Shui family's door and trying to blame them for everything. Mo said that Ji saw Shui that night. Then he was found murdered if not Shui. Luo said that it was said that the head of the Mo family had brought people to the door of Shui Palace for proceedings since morning. Chun said that the Mo family suspected Shui, so they came to look for him to the Shui family. Lo told Chen that it was a setup. Chun smiled and said that they were worth each other. At this time, June was telling Lu that she thought the guys were involved in Mo's death after all. But then someone ran up and shouted to the ruler of the city, and then an elder came and told Mrs. June that they hadn't seen each other for a long time. Walking into the room, Lu was telling her sister that during the pressure on the Zhong family from other clans, the ruler didn't even turn an ear. So why did he come today? June told Lu to keep her voice down. The ruler said that this time the honorable sovereign had come to check on the rulers, namely how they were doing in their position. The exam, asked Lu and sister. The ruler said that the 10 emperors of Tiando have rankings, according to which every 3 years, a county exam is held. Leeching has been at the bottom for almost 30 years. The exam is approaching. If Leeching is at the bottom this year too, it will be excluded from the top 10 royal capitals. Is it possible, with the help of the 5 great clans, to restore Leeching to its former glory? That the examination is a battle between younger generations. The 5 families are relatively young clans with a lack of experience. If you pay attention, among all the families that are in Leeching, only the Zhong family has the right skills and knowledge. June realized that the ruler of the city has. The ruler said that the Zhong family would be in charge of the event related to the competition for the right to be chosen as one of the 10 places for the exam. The ruler said he hoped they would live up to his expectations. June asked, will June's family be responsible? There were very many people gathered in the Zhong kingdom, and most of the boxes were scattered all over the place. By then, the guys were coming back after scouting and were surprised by this. Chun said with surprise, where did so many boxes come from? Lu ran up and said with joy that they were all generous gifts from the clans. Gifts? Chun asked in surprise. Why did they suddenly start giving gifts to the June family? Elder sister said that they should discuss this better inside. June said that their family was in charge of selecting the participants for the tournament. The major houses had gotten word of this and now, one by one, they were sucking up and bringing gifts. Luo said that the ruler had handed over all the matters about the Zhong family's tournament. If Leeching could withstand the exam, then the Zhong family would also finally be elevated, in a good way of course. Chun asked why the ruler had appointed the decayed Zhong family to such a responsible task, and not someone from the 5 great clans. Zhong said that she asked the same question to the ruler. He said that each of the 5 great clans disliked each other, and the governor had also heard about the conflict between the Mo and Shui families. Putting it on them, however, would be no guarantee that Leichin would not be doomed. What if the 5 great clans were dissatisfied with the choice of ruler and started to put sticks in their wheels? Wouldn't the Zhong family be doomed in such a case? Luo told him not to worry about it. They are all a bunch of people without strong convictions. The Zhong family has the ruler's blessing, so they won't dare to touch them. But then a servant rushed in, and after bowing, told the first mistress that the head of the Mo clan had come to see her. The guy walked in and said that he was on behalf of the ML clan, and he had come to greet her, Miss June. Their head asked to convey that if the young mistress couldn't handle the tournament, the Mo family could take over some of the responsibilities. Chun was surprised and asked, what the hell is this? Does the Mo clan have time to worry about the affairs of the Zhong family? Luo jumped into the conversation and said that the heir's bones were already cold and the murderer still hadn't been found. For the sake of the tournament, they decided to ignore the funeral of their own son. The guy looked at Luo angrily and said that all the honorable people in Leeching had gathered, but he doesn't know which family the guy belongs to. Luo took up his mug of tea and asked if a lowly manager could talk to him. The second guy got angry and said to the daredevil, how dare he speak so cavalierly to a representative of the Mo clan? The guy has appealed to Mrs. June. The Mo family is sincere in their desire to support them, but this person is overly arrogant, so proposes to kick him out. But June only smiled at that and didn't say anything. Did the guy tell Luo to get out of here by himself, or should he kick him out? Luo said he has a loyal dog in front of him. Let him immediately bring him a ball. The guy said that ever since he entered the 4-star martial soul stage, he hadn't been subjected to such humiliation in Baishan. And a brat like that arrogant guy will always be begging him to kill. The guy lunged at Lo, but he didn't realize what he was facing. Lo took his hand and twisted it, saying he was very slow. Lo said that now he's facing a showman who can't even punch properly, and such boys from the Mo clan. How dare he be so insolent in front of the higher-ups? The boy asked, His Excellency, wasn't he afraid of causing displeasure from the Mo clan? June stood up and said Luo Moz is the dear guest of the June Palace. the prince of the Luo clan. And then the guys were completely surprised as they heard that the heir of the Luo clan from Imperial City was standing in front of them. Guy asked the general manager, how influential was the Luo family in the Imperial City? The manager told the guy to gape his eyes in shame. The Luo clan of Imperial City is one of the greatest families in the entire Tian Empire, true aristocrats. And how the hell did he dare to show such insolence towards the heir of a great family? The manager bowed and said that the Mo family had unintentionally offended the genius heir and hoped that Prince Luo would show mercy. June said that the business manager in the Mo clan did it unintentionally. She's fine with resolving things peacefully, but what does the prince think about it? Luo said that since Miss June is of this opinion, he won't argue, and now, it's time for them to get the hell out. The manager bowed in shame and thanked Prince Luo and Lady Zhong in farewell. The manager walked outside thinking and didn't expect that the fated Zhong family would cooperate with Kalen Luo from Imperial City. And now this is a very important event to report to Mr. Mo. Luo told June that it looks like Mo's representatives left angry, right? June said that he was just bullying them, so there's nothing to praise him for. Chun saw that there was a spark between them and taking Lu with him, they went to look at the presents. Luo asked June what she was upset about. June said that in the previous years of the tournament, the age of the participants should not be more than 16 years old. But there are very few people of that age in Leeching. And now, with the tournament less than 2 months away, we need to scrutinize those 10 spots. Luo looked at the front and said that the 2 candidates are right in front of them. Chung asked him, is he talking about Leeching? June said that the Li girl has good potential, has already acquired a 3-pronged martial art. Chun is also very talented, but Chun has a 2-star fighting spirit, and there must be at least a 3rd to enter the tournament. Luo told her not to underestimate this child. The heir to the Mo family is a good example. June asked in surprise, so is it true that Chun killed Mo? Luo said that although he didn't see exactly how it happened, Mo definitely died at his hands. Chun was alone in the mountain range when the spirit beast was almost awakened. But there wasn't a scratch on the boy. He couldn't be considered weak. June said that since Chun is not from Lycan, there might be problems? Luo asked, so what of it? Every city invites foreigners as an aid to the tournament. If Chun were to take part in this war, the outcome of the tournament could be quite unexpected. Lo moved closer to her and said that he could certainly help her by using the name of the Lo clan, but he knows about her sense of dignity, so he will just silently watch everything that happens. Lo put his hands on her arms and said she was his weakness. He would never let anyone hurt her. June blushed and said, who would even want to be with such a bum? Luo didn't say anything and laughed in response as well. Chun picked up Li and brought him to the cafe to rest and gain some strength, and immediately ordered them tea. The cafe was saying that there would be a tournament soon, and Leeching is still hanging on to the 4 great families. Li said that this year's tournament is very important to Leeching. The ruler has handed over the matter to the Zhong family. If she fails, the consequences will be serious. Chun said Leeching is a big city, with a population of 1 million people. But there are only 10 places that can be counted with closed eyes. 2 guys were asking what kind of family is the Zhong family. The Su family is at the top among the 2nd classes in Leeching, and is higher in status than the Zhong clan. The heir of the Su family asked, why such an honor as hosting the tournament fell to them. The Bayun clan heir said that Zhong Xian relying on her feminine charms to become a mistress, and now hooked onto the Luo clan, who knows what shameful things they are doing. And then Li heard everything and asked the guys what kind of nonsense are they talking about. Su said, isn't this the 2nd lady of the Zhong clan? Does she have time to go to inns? Wouldn't she be better off helping her sister prepare for the tournament? Now that the Jun clan is under the protection of the Luo family, there are people ready to take care of everything, so there's plenty of time to meet lovers. But then Chun stood up and asked Cicely if he could beat them. Li told him not to be so impulsive. They both have 3-tiered martial spirits. He was no match for them. Shui started laughing loudly and said that he didn't know where this guy came from, but said he wanted to beat them up. Shui patted Chen's face and said that his girlfriend was aware that he couldn't handle them. So what allowed him to speak out so boldly? Shui walked over to Li and said, her sister has the blood of 2 great clans. She must be excellent at many things. And if she's her little sister, she's not bad either. Why would she mess around with this homeless guy when she can serve him? Qinyu didn't like this, and after being impatient for a long time, He released his vine and immediately trapped Shui from all sides. Bai stood to the side and told Chun, how dare he attack so unexpectedly. Chun immediately did not speak to him, and played with this Shui like a ball, cracking things with his body. Bringing Shui to death, Chun asked, does anyone else wish to die? Just try to say anything else. Li told Chun that this Su Yu and the heir of the direct branch to the Su clan, Leeching City. But Chun took his life? Chun said to her to calm down. This guy has a 3-star fighting spirit, you can't kill him that easily. The guy said that the Su family is famous for their good deeds, while the Zhong clan is famous for their despotism. Aren't they afraid of incurring everyone's wrath? Chen asked him, is he in some kind of trouble? The guy gained strength and attacked, saying that he would teach him a lesson today. Li told Chun to be careful. This unique forgotten disciple of the Bai clan. His one step turns into 100 in an instant. But here Chun used his vine, but without hitting the guy, realized that he was very fast. Bai stood in front of Chun and asked him, is that all he can do? He immediately launched an attack, but Chun didn't notice. Bai said that Chun is a weakling, just made a surprise attack on Su with his lowly 2-star spirit. Unheard of insolence. Li lifted Chun to his feet and began to worry. Chun said it was fine. Chun thought that there was only 1 star between him and the guy, and already such a difference. But fortunately, he activated his strength in time and absorbed most of the blow. Otherwise, he might have died. I told Chun that he hit him, but why did the guy survive? Chun said his punch was as if it was delivered by a woman. Any other questions? I got more angry from this and told Chang that he was sick of living in general. But then Li stepped in and said enough. She said to Bayun, wasn't he the one who was now pressuring and insulting her by talking about the Jun family? Bai laughed and said that the second lady was saying some very funny things, despite the fragmentation and near extinction of the Zhong clan, though that would happen soon enough as it was. Li got angry and started poking at the guy. Bai asked her what was wrong. Did he say something wrong? Chun didn't like this. He immediately grabbed him by the throat at the speed of light and began to slowly strangle him. Chun looked into his eyes and told Bayun that he was the one who was really dreaming of death. Bai didn't understand what was going on and asked Chun what he was doing. The guys asked, where did this guy even come from? His 2-star fighting spirit is so strong. Li asked, how can that be? The difference between 2 and 3 stars is too great. But then Su stood up and said, what about the overbearing spirits? He trapped Bai and cut off all escape routes. Su told Chun to look at him and called him a damn bastard. Let him just try to attack him. Bai let him kill him. The more painful the better. Li told Su if Chun died, she would never let them go just like that. They would all pay for it. But then the lays began to open. Su asked Bai with joy, but then things started to clear up, and Bai's body was emaciated to the bone. And then Su was upset that Bai was dead. Shui told Junli that she insulted the 2 families, Su and Bai, and that's why they won't make peace. Li looked at Chun and asked him, is he okay? Chun couldn't say a word as he collapsed into her embrace. But still he managed to tell her that he had defeated that vile fellow. Li tearfully begged him to get up, and then Li managed to drag Chun to her house. Opening the door, she started yelling to her sister. Jun asked her what was wrong. Li told them to act fast, they need to help Chun. Immediately, the guys sprang into action and put Chun on the bed. Jun now recognized and was surprised that Chun was able to kill Bai and injure Su. Li said those second-rate Bai and Su families, they definitely won't let things go. Lo said that there was nothing wrong with that. If they were to be provoked and act recklessly, then they would show them what methods the Lo clan used in such a case. Jun told Li that Chan didn't have any external injuries, but the overuse of martial spirit had caused his pulse to be disturbed. He needs to get a good rest. Li couldn't leave him alone. After all, he had stood up for her in that brothel. But she had to leave so Chun could rest. Chun was in great agony. After all, his inner strength was trying to come out, so he decided to cultivate it. Chun suddenly woke up and realized that using the spirit and then absorbing it from other people had caused a drastic increase in spiritual power. One must purify it, but his body might not be able to withstand it and he would be left crippled. And now he decided that he needed to try and break through to the 3-pronged soul realm a little earlier. Raising both of his hands upwards, Chun was very burning with the desire to break through. And at that moment everything happened. A glittering lightning bolt directly descended into Chen's house where he was resting. The boys didn't leave either, and when they saw the lightning they were surprised. Lee asked them what it was. It was heading for Chen's room. Chun realized that he could do it, so he didn't give up and keep breaking through. Chun took in such a powerful electric flow and saw that the spirit power of the heaven and earth spirit, the power of the lightning, was so great that Chun was having a hard time doing so. But then he decided to immerse himself in a cocoon of vines. Having managed to break through it, Chun thought that after tempering the spirit of heaven and earth, not only was the strength doubled, but the sea of soul awakened, turning into a pill. Chun smiled and said that it was not surprising that a 3-star spirit was in many ways superior to a 2-star spirit. Turning into a pill was equivalent to expanding the soul energy in the entire body. If he hadn't absorbed enough energy earlier, he wouldn't have been able to obtain a 3-star spirit. And now that he had a 3-star spirit, he should try all the techniques. And immediately released the first spirit. After testing it in practice, Chun was surprised that his first spirit had indeed changed. A new power, on top of the poison, by even with a 4-star spirit wouldn't be able to resist him. But he wondered if soul absorption was transforming, and immediately decided to try it out. After doing this, Chun realized that he had indeed appropriated the spirit power of the heaven and earth spirit in order to replenish the energy. But wouldn't that mean that when fighting, he would no longer have to worry about the amount of energy consumed? But wouldn't that be cool? Chun said that although he wouldn't be able to use the full power of the second martial spirit, but at least it could be controlled without worrying about suddenly losing control. But then Lee came running in screaming for Chang. She asked him if he was okay. Chun smiled and said he was fine. He was just exercising. Sitting down at the table, Chun asked Lee, what about Su and Bai's family? If they get angry at them because of him. Luo said that he heard that Su passed away from poison halfway through. Luo's heir helped them settle the matter. Jun understood and said that there was nothing wrong with that. After all, Chun had stood up for the Jun clan. But then a serious conversation came up, and Jun told Lee and Chang that she had something she needed to discuss with them. Chun joyfully told Sister Jun not to hesitate and tell it like it is. Jun listed all the clans for the tournament, and at the end, she said that there are 4 more people speaking on behalf of the ruler. There are just 2 spots left, and she hopes that they can take them. Lee immediately said that there is no problem with this. But Chun is not from Leeching. She is worried about it. Chun told Jun Lee's little sister not to worry. Jun said that's great. Thus, there would be 10 people performing in the tournament. And then, at the announcement, people find out that all 10 participants in the tournament have been chosen. How could it be that there would be 2 from the Zhong family, people asked. The indignant fellow said the decayed Zhong family took 1/5 of the number of participants. Although the tournament is related to glorifying Leeching, but he Zhang Qian refuses to accept them. And then all the people all together said they were against it. So they decided to go to the Jun clan and tell them everything. When they arrived at the door of the clan, they began to ask why he Zhong family 2 members. They are not happy about it. Zhang said, let the person whose name is Luo Chun come out. A person no one knows anything about will represent Leeching. Chun asked Luo, what is this crowd causing trouble? Luo said to Chun, since he is angry, why is he doing it here and not outside? Chun said now that the contestants have already been chosen, why are they yelling? Let them screw around from here, only making him nervous. Luo said that the tournament is still a month away. Will Chun just sit in the Jun mansion like this, not going outside at all? Chun thought about it and asked why not do that. Luo thought that the bastard was a real jerk. Lo says he thinks they just don't know what Chun is capable of. He should go out and take them all down to live up to his reputation. Chun said, Luo, is he stupid? There are too many troublemakers outside. Do you think they all came for him to beat them up? Luo said to Chun not to blame him for this, that he didn't tell him about this tournament rule. The contestants have already been chosen, but the decision can be challenged by entering the battle. Chun asked him, is he joking or something? Did all these people really come here to challenge him? And then Zhang shouted again for the one whose name was Chun to come out. He, the young baron, had come to challenge him. Luo told Chun that everyone wants to see him. Is he going to be scared like this? Chun applied his strength and said it will never end. Chun opened the doors and asked who was there who decided to challenge him. Zhang asked Chun, would he be able to cope with Qian possessing a 2-star fighting spirit? Chun looked at him and asked, is it with him? This guy doesn't have the strength to pull against me? Zhang immediately decided to attack and told Chun to not look at him with such arrogance. Chun smiled and said that he could see that he had a contentedly strong spirit, seeming to have motivated him a long time ago. But Chun released his spiritual spirit and asked the guy, Is that all he can do? Chun applied his vine attack and immediately sealed this guy into a pillar, keeping him high off the ground. Chun said that he told the guy that he couldn't stand up to him, so he did. But the guy in the crowd said that it seems like this guy Chin a little different from what's being said about him, right? Wei Hao said that he might have been able to defeat a 2-star spirit possessor, but regarding the tournament, he was not worthy. The guy said that with him, the tournament would definitely go well and Leeching would become famous. If the Zhong family invited him to participate just for numbers, then let him not waste space. Chun asked Wei, is he trying to exhaust him? Of course he is apologizing. This battle was very fierce, so he is a little tired. He should go back and rest. Wei asked Chun, how dare he talk to them like that? He needs to withdraw from the tournament. It's a spoonful of honey. Don't let them disgrace their Leeching. Chun got angry and said they were rabble, and now he refuses to fight to the death. Wei attacked him and said that if Chun gave up his place in the tournament, he would keep him alive. But then a man stepped in and told them to stop it immediately. He stood in the middle of both of them and stood up to the last man. They immediately all saw this man and bowed and said that they saluted the Lord. The Lord said that in a few days there would be a banquet here, the purpose of which would be to get to know each other and get to know each other better. And if after that they still had their opinions, they could challenge whomever they wanted. Chin asked the guy, did he hear? He would have to refrain from attacking. After all, no one would be able to stop them afterward. Wei said this guy is just afraid of fighting him. Zhang Tao said that it was fine. On the day of the feast, they would change their minds and make room for the tournament. Li brought Chun to the big celebration that evening. Chun said that he would never have thought that the Lantern Festival would be so lively. Li said that the Lantern Festival this time is the grandest in the last 10 years. Besides quizzes, there will also be a performance. And then Li dragged Chun and said, they need to look at everything. The salesman asked, little brother, would you like to guess the riddle with the lanterns? After all, most people can't figure them out, so the gifts are more generous than anywhere else. Of course, the conditions are such: for one correctly guessed riddle, get 1,000 silver and more attempts. Li asked, and for more, what would happen? And then Chun began to guess everything. After all, he had seen what was where and how. The salesman was surprised and realized that the guy had answered everything correctly. Didn't any of the riddles throw him into a stupor? Chun earned a bag of money and joyfully headed onward. Li, standing nearby, was surprised at his luck. Li told Chun that the holidays always bring up family. And how is Chun? Chun said it's been a long time. He hasn't had a home for a long time. Li told him that this was his home from now on. As long as she's here, she'll always accompany him to the Mid-Autumn Festival. Chun was happy to hear those words, so he hugged her and told her that they had an agreement. Chun slammed all the doors shut and heard the guy saying that Chun was a cowardly dog. If he's afraid, he's going to shit his pants during the feast. Luo said that the ruler said that there will be sparring during the banquet. What does Chun plan to do? Chun said he will just slap them all. Luo said Chun is really reckless. Let him be careful. Look, just try not to lose. Chun asked what other loss. Weren't the 10 contestants already approved? Or would it be possible to change? Luo said that Chun actually thought it would be a normal exchange of experiences. As far as he knows, there is a banquet before each tournament that not only honored individuals but also young, gifted people can attend. Chun said that in that case there would be countless fights. What is he talking about? Luo asked. Luo told him not to worry. If he showed them his strength, nothing would happen. On the contrary, when the places were finally distributed, the participants would be rewarded. Will they be rewarded? Asked Chin. Luo said yes. For those who will represent Leeching, the ruler will make an exception and open a martial spirit palace. What kind of spirit palace? Asked Chin. Luo said that each of the 10 imperial cities under Tiangdu Imperial City belong to one of the 10 territorial jurisdictions. And in each of these cities, there is a spirit palace. It has a guidebook that contains 1/10 of all the spirit species of Tiangdu Imperial City. And also a 99% probability he will find information about all the abilities of these spirits. Chen's eyes lit up and asked, is this true? Then this is a great opportunity to enter this palace. Lo said it's like this. It is the sole palace that everyone is fascinated with, because whoever goes in there will become one of the most brilliant people in Leeching. But don't let Chen think it's that simple. Chun said that since the spirit palace is only open for 1 hour, no one would think of going there for nothing, right? Luo asked Chen, did he really think that the guards in the palace were just decoration? The martial spirit palace is very well guarded by dark guards. Not only to steal something but also simply to approach is impossible, in a flash will be destroyed. Chun said that there were a huge number of different spirits on the martial spirit continent. If he learned a little more about their types and capabilities. In the upcoming battles you can understand all the abilities of the spirit, so everything will work out. The main thing is to prepare well. Luo said that Chun is so interested in martial spirits and their abilities, he's into it for a reason. Isn't he afraid of not breaking through? What do you mean? Chun asked. It didn't take him long to get a 2-star. That's nothing, Luo said. After all, the difference between the stars is too great. And now he has a tough road ahead of him, so let him not act impulsively. Chun immediately looked at the martial spirit palace and said that means he is 100% up to the task. They all gathered outside the palace and waited for the next orders. Chun said that the palace government guards deserve their fame, and their fierce facial expressions are truly intimidating. June said that the responsibility of sparring is hers, so she needs to go to the inner palace to prepare something. And there's still a little time before the banquet. They can go for a walk, but let them remember, under no circumstances to engage in conflict. Li told her sister that she knew, and would definitely make sure to keep an eye on Chun to make sure he didn't get into trouble. Li said that if Leeching doesn't win this year, he will be eliminated from the top 10 imperial cities, so maybe this is the last performance. Chun took her hand and told her not to worry. Everything would definitely be fine. A girl came up to them and said that the distribution of places in this tournament was already very unfair. The Zhong clan, relying on their power, had taken over 2 whole places. She had never heard that name before. How do we find this boy? With such a person, it would be a shame to be ranked among the best. Zhang said, what a coincidence. Isn't it Mrs. Zhong and Chan? Are you ready for today's battle? Li said the problems found them on their own. Zhang said that if they didn't want to be embarrassed at the banquet, let them take the initiative to leave their seats and leave. Chen asked what was wrong with him. Why are all of Leeching's geniuses mentally retarded? Li said that although the Zhang family had placed themselves at the end of the top 5 clans, they shouldn't be so picky. Chun grabbed Li and said they had to go. And then Zhang was not silent and asked them. Chun told him if he wanted to fight him, let him wait for today's banquet. Zhang said that the ruler had already ordered that before the official opening. Everyone is at will. Chun said that he wanted to settle this conflict after all. Now that Zhang told him about it, he can't back down. But he asks him, then don't complain. Zhang immediately showed his firepower and attacked. He said that it was beyond the chutzpah he was getting, but then Lo came and stopped them. He told them to stop immediately. How can they behave like this in the palace of the ruler? The guy immediately introduced himself as the esteemed Zheng, of the Zheng clan, the head of the 5 great families, and he wouldn't dare cross him. But it seems he's not the only one with a grievance. And then Mo got angry and told Chun to give him Li. She knew that Mo was one of Leeching's most outstanding people. If he gets angry, I'm afraid Chun might get hurt. Mo told Chun to give it to him. Otherwise, don't let him complain later that he'll whip him. Chun said that Mo's little sister June Li doesn't like this Mo. Mo said they've been engaged since they were kids. They grew up together. He knows Li better than anyone. Li saw that Mo was angry. Chun would be crippled if this continued. And then she stepped between them and told them to stop this scandal. Chun asked Li, is she protecting him? Li said no. Zhang entered the conversation and said that they grew up together. It is natural. That they are in love with each other. And Chun was only halfway through. Who did he think he was? And then Chun got angry and told him to shut his mouth. Chun released his vine directly at Zhang. The guy was surprised to see a plant spirit and realized that Chun wasn't such a noob. Chun asked Li's little sister that she really liked that little dork. And then Li tried to say something, but Chun didn't listen and ran away. Guy asked Gi why he was chasing this girl. Isn't Hai looking for someone else? Gi said he thought she was special. Chun ran with his eyes closed, and as he stopped he looked around and couldn't realize where he was. He didn't pay attention to anything as he ran. He heard someone yelling for the scum to hurry up. Chun decided to follow and smelled it. The intense odor of blood. A few soldiers ran into town saying they were wasting time and needed to hurry. Chun realized that someone had killed the guards of the government palace. Would the murderer show up at the banquet? And now he decided he needed to check. While checking he noticed that they had disappeared. What if they kept killing? And then someone pointed a sword at him and said that it was the inner palace guards. What's this guy doing here? Chen turned around and saw a woman. This girl was the commander of the Dark Guards, and her name was Li Ruotong. Chun told her to listen to him because this is not the guy they are looking for. And then the guy told Commander Li that he was asking her to hand this guy over to him. He would drown him in the water dungeon himself. Chen immediately realized it was breath and blood. Oh, these are the assassins. Li said that Commander Shang was patrolling the main hall. Why did they come here? The guy said that the main hall lacked manpower. The head ordered Commander Li to bring Ping Tianwei to him, and he was temporarily taken under the protection of the inner palace. The guy told her to come through. Li said the inner palace was always hers. Chun immediately realized that this Commander Shan was very troublesome. Commander Li doesn't seem to share their interests. If he wants to stop their conspiracy, he needs to gain Commander Li's trust. Commander Shan said for someone to apprehend this kid and kill him. He is a participant in the tournament, just a little lost. Shan said the main hall is across the hall from here. Is it possible to get lost here? He thinks this guy is a spy. Chun told Li to make her believe him. He is definitely not lying to her. He wandered around the palace after finding the guards killed, went after the killers. That's how he ended up here. Li said that dark guards are guarding the ruler's palace. Does he know what will happen if you milk nonsense? Chun told his beautiful little sister that he wasn't lying. There's a whole mountain of corpses behind the garden. Shang asked him what kind of nonsense he was talking about, and ordered him to be captured. Li told him to wait. This is a very serious matter. At the moment, the main hall is making preparations for the banquet. She has to make sure of everything herself. Li says she's giving the guy a chance to atone for his sins, so let him point the way. Shan said that in that case, let the tomboy show them the way. But if the corpses he's talking about aren't there, he'll be considered a spy. When Li arrived at the place, she asked Chun, is it definitely in the garden? And then Chun looked around and no one was already there. Chun understood and saw that there was definitely a wall here earlier. Gone? No corpses either. Shan said this guy is a bastard because he managed to lie to them. Where's the wall? He said. He immediately ordered his men to capture him. Li stood up for the guy and told Shan to wait. After all, they haven't really checked anything. Why is Commander Shang so eager to kill the guy? This part of the palace is her responsibility. So it's up to her to decide whether to kill the guy or not. Shan didn't like her words and pretended to be calm. Chang realized that the underground cave was so confusing that only he was capable of remembering the way. But what to speak of the tiny palace grounds? He couldn't be wrong, after all. He had been here and seen everything. Chang said that it happened around here somewhere anyway, and suggested that the pretty little sister step back and watch together. Li menacingly asked him if he was going to run away. She immediately pointed her sword. Chang smiled and said how could this be possible? Li couldn't help herself and told him to shut up. But if she found out that the guy was lying to her, she would personally send him to prison for life. After that, they spread apart and started looking for clues. Chun pretended to watch everything. Shan thought the banquet was about to start. He didn't have time for their games. Looking at his servant, he gave him a hint and immediately a portal opened. Chun felt that something had happened, and it was behind him. Li found the evidence and saw that it was blood. Li said it looks like the guy wasn't lying. Someone was really killed here. Chun immediately shouted to his beautiful little sister. Li turned around in surprise and asked, "What's wrong? What was his panic like that?" Li looked at it and couldn't understand what was wrong here. Chun said that the road disappeared. Li asked him what he was so amazed about. Isn't he one of the 10 participants? Li looked at the wall and thought, where did it come from? She immediately shouted to Commander Shan. Shan stood on the other side and said to Commander Li, why did the wall appear out of nowhere? Was she stepping on some kind of mechanism? Let her wait for a while he found someone to help them. Chun thought for a moment and realized that it seemed like Commander Shang had deliberately trapped them to hide something. Apparently the relationship between these two is not good. We should try to talk to her. Chun asked Li if there was any way she could break the wall. Li took up her sword and told him to move farther away. Now she was going to try and do it. Li looked at all of this with her magic eye and immediately turned into a fiery girl. Chang looked at all of this and realized that she was a 5-star sword spirit. No wonder she was so perceptive. Li used a sword art technique at this time and sent her into the wall with destruction. Chang was surprised and said that beautiful little sister is strong. Even if this sword had an ordinary spirit, the threat to life wouldn't go anywhere. Li said that even though she used her fighting spirit, she couldn't break the wall. She told the guy that she couldn't break it down. Chen asked her what if she used multiple swords. Who knows, and it might work. Li realized that using just one sword was already absorbing a third of her strength. If the soul power in the body is depleted, it won't lead to anything good. Li said they need to stop talking and better see if there's any other mechanism. Chun punched the rock and told the beautiful little sister that it seems like there is something inside this mountain. Li drew her sword and immediately broke this mount. From what they saw, they were surprised, for these were dark guardian people. Apparently, they had killed them silently. Li looked all around and said that the matter was urgent. They should report it to the ruler immediately. Chun said they were trapped, but Commander Shang had gone somewhere. How do they get to the palace? Li said they were blocked by a wall that appeared out of nowhere. There are corpses inside this rock, which is also very suspicious. And she suggested that the boy take a look around. Li went deep into the rock and immediately stopped abruptly, and Chun crashed right into her. He asked her why she had stopped. Li looked strange and said there was no further road. It was blocked with rocks or it was a trap again. Chun said the ruler's palace has excellent security. How did the assassins even get in here? Li said that it just can't be. Judging from the number of corpses, there are enough assassins here. How on earth were they able to mix with the ordinary people in the palace? Chun thought about the assassins and corpses. Maybe there's a tunnel in this rock? Li said that now that there are a bunch of assassins walking among the palace, they just can't get stuck here. They need to get out of here as soon as possible. The banquet would start soon. Chinya decided to take on this responsibility and used his magic. Li immediately saw that the guy had decided to use his battle spirit to explore the cave. He only had 3 stars, but he already had such great spirit power. Chun released his vine and used it to find a loophole in this stone. And immediately, with a swipe of his fingers, he smashed it. Li was amazed at how the guy was able to create such a thing. And by opening a way out for them, they were able to find it. Li said, as she suspected, another mechanism. Chun said it was a secret passage. Who knows, maybe it would lead them outside. They headed into it without fear, but after going a few steps it closed and the torches flew from their hands. Hoping he was imagining things, but he bumped into a rock. Chang said it seems that it can only be opened from the outside. Chung thought and told Li that they had no escape route. Li headed for the exit and found the torch there. Li said it's about the defense and security of the government palace. Her level is higher than the guy's. She will lead. Let the guy follow her, but let him be on guard. Going deeper and deeper into the tunnel, Li asked the guy if he thought it was getting colder and colder. Chun realized that he did feel a chill after entering the secret passage, but he seemed to have been swallowed up by the spirit. Could this be the reason why he couldn't feel anything? Chang realized that Fan had expended quite a lot of spirit power to break down the wall, but was now gradually slowing down. She apparently didn't have enough strength to continue fighting the cold. Chun was distracted and out of the corner of his eye he saw Li faint from the cold. Chun caught her and asked what was wrong with her. Why is she so cold? Li said it's okay. It's probably all this cold weather's fault. Let the boy step first, she will catch up with him. How can this be called a good condition? What could he do to help her? Chang felt her body and said, "This gear is frozen, we need to take it off soon." Li told the guy not to worry about her. The assassin's target must be the martial spirit palace. The most important thing is to report everything to the ruler. Tell Chang to run faster. Chang said that she was right. The killer's target is the martial spirit palace, but compared to the beautiful little sister, the spirit palace is not that important. Chang didn't wait for her to die, and immediately pulled all of her equipment off of her, so she could relax a bit. Chang came to her lips and told her not to move, and with a movement of his hand he would rid her of this cold. Li began to feel her body heating up and she was already warm. Li asked him why he was absorbing the cold air. Was he looking for death? Chun smiled and said, how else would he be able to save her? Immediately, he let out all the absorbed cold air outside. Chang healed her and said that they couldn't stay here for long. It was time for them to move on. Chang fell to his knees. From the intense cold he sucked in but didn't let out completely. Li asked him what's wrong with him. Chang realized that he had not controlled the absorption of the cold, devouring too much. Now he could not free himself from it. Chun was getting worse further and further away. Li grabbed him and told him not to stand still. Li saw that Chen's cheek was frozen, and it was all the fault of the cold air. This kid actually absorbed all the cold to save her. Li took him on her back, for she realized that if they continued to stay here, they would die. She must find a way to get out of here. Chang was getting worse all this time, as the cold covered his entire body and slowed his breathing. Chang went into his subconscious and saw that this cold was hard to beat, so it was also soul-destroying. And he was in the wrong state of mind right now. Chang decided to use his strength, devouring the fighting spirit, but he still couldn't come to his senses. Li saw that the room ahead looked like an exit. It was built with chains all along the wall. Li had heard that the cold air, the huge tomb, the evil martial spirit masters who had heard of immortality pills always liked this kind of place. But then the thought came to Li, was this the lair of the evil spirit possessors? The intense coldness was penetrating this room less and less frequently. Li put Chun in a comfortable place for her and covered him with clothes. Chun said he was very cold, but suddenly something indescribable began to happen inside the room. Many body parts began to come out. Li noticed this moment and was surprised herself. And then, dozens of vicious martial spirit masters appeared. The warrior said to the nasty old man, "So he's still alive." The old man did not tolerate such disrespect, and immediately launched an attack. The warrior didn't like it, and immediately called him an old geezer. I guess the old man wanted to die. The old man just laughed and said that he was a disgusting old man. All these toys would not help him. They would only rot in the explosion. But then a woman who was lying on the bed appeared in front of him. She told them that they hadn't seen each other for a long time. She missed her very much. The old man and the warrior were surprised and asked Gue, "Didn't she die? But then where is Lao Xie?" Gue said that Lao had long ago sneaked into the martial spirit palace and was serving the head of the city. The old man asked her, was this a joke? Before, they, the 5 devils, had joined forces, but they hadn't even touched the doors of the spirit palace. Their leader was killed by the ruler of Li City. So how could Lao Xie fool the palace guards? Li looked at everything and marveled that they actually existed. She thought they were just legends. Chang came to his senses and asked, "What other legends are there?" Li asked him, "Is he awake? But how does he feel after something like that?" Chang said he was fine. He had recovered from his rest. Chang realized that although the spirit eater was against the laws of nature, it was still the first form of spirit. So he was able to absorb the damned air, but his internal organs suffered. But there are more important things to do. Chang asked the girl who they were. Li said that they were among Tiangdu's top 10 most wanted criminals, the 5 evil spirits that attacked the palace. Gue is ranked 2nd among the 7-star spirit caster. She is extremely charming. Judging from the data, she is about 100 years old. She is good at deception and seduction. The ghostly old man placed 3rd among the 5-star spellcasters. He controls souls and manipulates the bodies of the dead, is extremely dangerous. Though Detoy is at the bottom of this ranking, he is an excellent shooter and out of the entire 5 is capable of doing the most damage. But their leader, possessing 8 stars, was beheaded by the ruler of the city. Currently missing is Lao Sai, who loves collecting masks. She is also very good at disguises. She doesn't even know what they're planning. Though the palace is well guarded, the defenses have weakened over the past few years. She offered to join Lao Xie. Gue pulled out her mask and threw it into the sky. Li was surprised to see this. She asked, "Is it really Xie's consort?" Gue said that it was time to avenge the leader. Li said that Miss Xie is the city ruler's favorite concubine. She didn't expect Gue to take on her appearance. Besides, if you listen to them, the Thousand-Faced is their ringleader, in which case, it's no wonder Commander Shan removed her from guarding the inside of the palace. Chang said that earlier he had sensed that Commander Shan had the same spiritual energy as these enemies. It was very likely that he was the one who had sent the assassins. Li said that Commander Shan kept 1/3 of the guards in the ruler's palace. If everyone gathered, there would surely be a sea of bloodshed. Li started to deny it and said she wouldn't let it happen. Chang told her to be patient. At this point, there is no evidence that they are related to each other. If the evil spirit possessors notice them, there's no way to get out alive. The old man asked Gue what she was up to. Gue said that now 1/3 of the dark guards were in Sai's hands, and there were also 100 dead soldiers. Gue proudly said that Lao Xie had slipped something into the food that would be served at the banquet. so they will meet outside and destroy the place. The old man said that although the ruler of Leeching looked harmless, he possessed 8 stars. After so many years, his skills must have improved. They are no match for him. Then how can they ruin everything? Gui suggested, what if the ruler can't show up today? The old men were surprised and asked. Gui told the boys not to worry. There's a way out. When the banquet is over, the medicine will kick in and they will attack. The old man said that if he couldn't show up, then we could take a chance. Immediately he licked the bomb that was in his hands. The old man and the warrior said that the day of vengeance had come. Immediately, they all vanished from this room together. Li and Chang came down quietly after them. Li said that it looked like they had gone to the ruler's palace. Chang thought that if they really did poison everyone at the banquet, then Sister Jun Li and the others would be in danger. Chang ran and said to get out of here as soon as possible. They must return to the palace before the banquet starts. Chang started to run, and immediately failed to see the grave in front of him, which he crashed into. Li said, rather unexpectedly, that this exit led to an abandoned cemetery outside of town. The city gates are probably closed. She fears it will be difficult to get in without the ruler's knowledge. Chang asked Li, isn't she the commander of the Dark Strati? Won't they open the gate for them? Li said that since 5 dark spirit possessors had attacked Leeching, the ruler had ordered that no one should be let in at night, or else severe punishment would follow. Li told Chinyu that they should go. After all, they have a desperate situation, they must get there. Chang held onto her hand and told her to wait. If they just walked in like that, they would attract attention. Chang asked Li, had she heard that when you have money, you can also make the devil spin the millstones? When they arrived at the gate, Chang approached the guard and started talking to him. The guard allowed them and told them to hurry up. Once inside, Li asked Chun what was it that he had given him that made him take a chance and let them in. Chang said that it was nothing special, just 2 bottles of liquid that would help when fighting 3rd-grade spirits. Li stopped and said that the spirit-fighting liquid can heal injuries and helps with spiritual practice. It's so rare, and 2 bottles cost at least 100 gold. Li asked him who he was and where did he get such valuables. Chang said he just found them. What's she nervous about, sis? Li said that Chang still seems suspicious to her. After she settles things in the palace, we'll follow him closely. Chang suddenly saw that Li wasn't well and caught her. He asked if she was okay. She has an unhealthy complexion. Li said it didn't matter. It was necessary to return to the palace as soon as possible in order to stop the plot against the ruler. Chang used his vine and immediately immobilized the beautiful Li. She asked him what he was doing. Chang carefully pulled her badge out of her pocket and took it for himself. Li told him to give her badge back. Chang said that now that the enemies are hiding in the darkness, they don't know how close they got to their goal and whether they managed to get into the palace. But if Li just broke in, wouldn't that sow panic and disorder? Chang asked. Why don't she get some sleep and Chang will do the whole thing? Li said out of her last strength that she didn't agree. Have Chang quickly return her badge to her. Chang knocked her out with magic and said that the cold air hurt her after all, and he didn't want to see her die. Let her leave the rest to him. Upon arriving at the banquet gate, Chang said he was one of the 10 participants. The guards said that the banquet had already started. No one else can enter. Chang pulled out his badge and said that he was from the Dark Guard. Let them not block his path. The guard pointed his spear at Chang and said 1 more step and he was dead. Chang asked what did they mean by that. The guards told Chun that unless he was a guard wearing a black uniform, he couldn't enter without an order from the ruler of the palace. But then the head guard came out and took his men aside. He asked Chun where he got Commander Li's badge from. What happened to her? Chang asked the guard if he could come closer to him to explain himself. The guard looked at his men and told the guy to follow him. Has the banquet already started? Would the ruler be present? The guard said that the ruler had left with his 4th consort, and the evening banquet had not yet begun. Chang said he would tell him everything now. Someone is plotting to attack the ruler tonight. Have a guard go to the kitchen and check everything, and don't let anyone touch the food. The guard said he was only the captain of the Dark Guard squad. What could he even do? Chang said he has a badge now, so he hopes the captain can figure it out, and he'll go to the banquet himself to let everyone know. And the rest is up to the captain himself. At this time in the celebration hall, everyone was slowly gathering, and the celebration was about to begin. Young Master Li Tian asked the advisor, has his father not returned yet? The counselor said that according to the servant's report, the ruler, along with his fourth wife, had gone to the lake. Li got angry and said that there were so many defeats in the tournament, and some aristocratic families no longer trust the ruler. Is there any time for a walk by the lake? The counselor told Li that it was too late. Wouldn't it be better for them to have a selection trial and know the results before the ruler came? The young gentleman gave the authorizations and said that they were starting. The counselor came on stage and started to say that young people are the main pillar of the future person. Leeching's good name depends on the tournament. Gentlemen, if there are grievances, they can challenge each other. The girl hearing this said that a mere servant that managed to reach the 7 stars, the city ruler, is truly unfathomable. The counselor said that 10 people had been chosen for the big hour, a trek to the palace of battle spirit as a reward. But now the young master has decided to cancel the hour. People started to get indignant and asked the counselor, is he joking? If it wasn't for the martial spirit palace, no one would have come here. Are they making fun of them? Li said he would give them 3 hours instead. The rules are the same as before if unhappy. One of the guys said his name is Bei Chun, a 3-star martial spirit possessor. He is challenging Luo Chung. They all shouted for Chun to come out to fight. They wanted to fight him too, but no one came out. Li asked, what is the Zhong clan doing? Why are they delaying in accepting the battle? June asked her sister, where is Chun? The girl said that she prevented him from fighting Mo Chang. He must have gotten upset and didn't come. Bei asked Chun in front of everyone, is he afraid of getting a couple bruises since he doesn't take the fight and avoids fighting? But then Chun jumped into the room and said he was lost for a bit. Bai said that he is a 3-star spirit wielder and asks to come out to fight. Chung smiled and thanked his opponent for challenging him. The girl told Chung that he was a lousy guy. Where did he go? She thought something had happened to him. She cried and said that she thought Chung would leave without saying goodbye. Chun told Jun Li not to let her cry. Bai pounced on Chun with his fists and said that whoever treated him like heir should accept death. Chung released his vine into the fray and told Bai that he was in their way. Immediately, Bai fell to the ground with a single blow. The stranger asked, who is this guy? So still close to the second lady of the Zhong clan. The guy asked Gu, is he jealous? When he was in another state, didn't he say he wasn't interested in girls? The guy said his name is Lu Feng, and he's a 3-star spirit possessor, and he asks for Chong to give him guidance. The second guy's name was Wang Wan, and he is a 3-star spirit wielder, and asked Chun for some advice. A girl named Sun Shintong, a 3-star spirit wielder, let Chong give her some advice. Chong asked them, what are they doing? Are they relying on numbers to intimidate people? Chong said that since they were not busy with the tournament, he wished to inform them of something. Wei came out in front of everyone and asked him, is he afraid to compete? Si Zhong went to the top and found a lowlife who was given one of the spots. Was there no one from Leeching? June came out and said that Wei was mocking June by accusing her of fraud and pointing out the helplessness of June's family. Isn't that the case? The Zhong family is in decline, after all, and if it wasn't for the support of the imperial family, could it have claimed 2 seats? One of the leaders came out and said that this child had repeatedly avoided battle, was a coward, and in general, he was not worthy of his place at all. And he suggested that the Zhong clan member be removed from the tournament. June couldn't help himself and looked at the old man angrily. Zhong told June that it's okay. It's just a bunch of clowns. They shouldn't get angry at smug fools. The main man pounced on Chang and said Sucker is looking for death. He's going to teach him a lesson today. June stood up for Chun and stood up for him. Using her strength, she asked him how dare he do such a thing? No one expected Madame June to stand up for her disciple and put the upstart in the ringleader's place. Young Master Li said it's an outrage. They're fighting at the banquet like young boys. Gentlemen, watch your behavior. The head old man told young Master Li that Chun was refusing the challenge. Apparently he lacks strength, he is just afraid. This is about Leeching's future. So he's asking for the disqualification of Chen's disciple. Li said to the head Zhuge, this year's tournament is dedicated to glorifying Leeching. Chun, on the other hand, has repeatedly avoided battles. It seems like he should leave the tournament. Chun said they're all a herd of sheep. He's not interested in this kind of competition. But he has to say something to the young master. After all, you can't put this off for long. Li said, Chun arrogant, what is this other important conversation? Young master withdraw his candidacy from the tournament. The Zhong clan will be punished for inefficiency. Jun said that young master is humiliating Jun's family. Isn't that too arbitrary? Li said this Chun, did not get along with anyone, besides looking down on everyone. What's wrong with the young master denying him the opportunity to participate in the tournament? Li asked Miss Jun. Does she really want this person to be defeated in the mansion? Li said that this is the mansion of the ruler of the city. Since she already doesn't say what kind of family and where this guy is from, he has the right to finish him off. And then the prince came out to battle and asked Li, is he mocking her? If they want to believe or not, the ruler's mansion will disappear without a trace. The lads saw what the prince meant, took advantage of the young lord's disposition, and failed to restrain himself. Li said to call the Dark Guard here. The Jun clan has committed a crime for which all three of them must be punished. The guards immediately came running in all in unison, and surrounded the guys on all sides so they couldn't get away with it. Li told her sister. The prince couldn't help himself, and used his cold powers. For the magic of anger at them all was coming out of him. The guys were saying, what an unusual ice ability. Who is this person who dares to talk to Li Tian? The guy said that if he is not mistaken, this guy is from the Lu clan. Why said that this is the heir of the Lu family. Repeatedly refuses to ally with other clans. What made the elder angry? The guy said that he had merely planned to accompany Vi on this journey, but in no way expected to see such a thing. People said that the Lu clan and Gu clan belonged to the three major families in the imperial city. Lu asked the death penalty, and young master Leeching knows how to throw words around. But then the guard pounced on them, but Lu told him to get his filthy hands off. Lu said if Li was so eager to die, go ahead and they would try to preserve their corpses without severe external damage. Jun asked Lu why he was provoking the city ruler. After all, it's a crime punishable by death. Lu said that he would never, ever let anyone intimidate her, even if those people are from the palace. Lu asked Lu, how dare he show such disrespect to the young master? Is he looking for death or something? Wai started clapping and said that he was indeed worthy to be called the heir of the Lu clan. So bold and powerful. Li asked the counselor, Lu is here with the Zhong family, right? Lu asked, what does the Gu clan boy think? People started asking, is the Gu clan from the imperial city? There are two of the three main families here. Why are there people from the clan here? Lu said that although the empire exists, it only owns 10,000 li, with the rest being run by clans. All martial spirit masters dream of joining the clan, but only the most talented, in other words, geniuses, are taken. This is the case of a boy from the Gu clan. The boy told brother Lu that it was his mentor Mu Xie who had joined the Lan clan. Mu said that he had reached 5 stars at a rather young age. The guys were very interested in him. Would they be willing to go with him to the Lan clan? Lu stood in front of him and said that he would kill even a clan follower. Mu told brother Lu not to be so mean. If the Lu clan wants to take followers to their clan, they should give a little thought to tiny Leeching. By the way, such a beautiful and humble mistress would make a great match. The guy told Mrs. Jun's younger sister that his name was Gulong. Would she like to meet him? Chung said to Gu, how dare he even think about his fiancé? He asked, fiancé? And this guy is her fiancé? Chung said he doesn't care if he believes it or not, but he wants to be beaten to death. Gu said he won't be able to do that. Chang asked him, would it not work? Let the guy say it again, and immediately jumped on him. Gu didn't move from his spot, and immediately put his strength into action, grabbing the guy with his big hand. Chang did not expect such strength, and immediately through the strength fell to his knees. Gu said that he had lost. Everyone was surprised by this event. They didn't expect Gi to be so strong in this regard. This guy's servant came running over and asked Gu, what did he do to Chung? Lu said that his heart Dao had been suppressed by the enemy's will. Chung asked him, is that how? Lu said that the martial art of will is to penetrate the heart of the Dao. You need to achieve at least 7 stars in order to use such a technique. On his path, a master evolves, but if his heart Dao was destroyed by the martial art of will, then the person would never be able to self-cultivate again. Chung thought and saw Gu as a young guy who already possessed 7 stars. A martial spirit master with 4 stars was like an ant compared to him. Chang said Gu had shattered Mo Cheng's heart, rendering him completely useless. Wasn't that too cruel? Gu said that he liked the man, so no one should interfere and also no one is able to overpower him. Chung said that it turns out Gu is attracted to someone else's fiancé, except that he doesn't think she has the same high opinion of him. Gu asked Chung, what did he say? Chung said that Sister Jun Lee doesn't want to meet him. Gu got angry and told Chung to let her go. He liked this woman. Chung asked, who is Gu to her anyway? Chung asked Jun Lee, does she know this weirdo? Lee immediately, without thinking and confidently said that she didn't. Gu lost his temper and used his strength to attack Chen, and called him insolent at the end. Lu didn't like it and stepped in front of the attack and told them to stop. Lu told Gu that Chung is his friend and he advises him not to be disobedient in front of him. Gu said that Lu has an intimidating icy will. He flew back and Vi caught him. He asked Gu if he was okay. Gu said that it looks like this guy is stronger than him and also has an ice will. Wai told Gu to forget it, let him not stoop to their level, it's time to leave. Lee asked Chung, is he okay? Chung said he's fine. Chung realized that if it wasn't for Lu, he might have ended up the same way as Mo Chung. Gu, just wait, one day will come. But then a guard ran in and told the young lord that the commander had rebelled against them and surrounded the palace of martial spirit. They had suffered great losses. Lee was surprised and asked him, where is the Dark Palace guard? The guard said that the guard who was assigned to the martial spirit palace had been transferred by Commander Lee beforehand. Now his whereabouts were unknown. Did they collude with the dark spirit possessors? The guard immediately replied, that's correct. Lee said that Chung knew that the commander wanted to attack, but why didn't he inform him earlier? Chung said that when he wanted to go in, they blocked his way. He tried to speak twice, but he kept getting interrupted. Did they give him a chance to report everything? Lee said Chung is so stubborn. He thinks the guy is in league with the Dark Spirit Lord. The old man immediately attacked and said that he apologized to them. Lu noticed this and immediately repulsed his attack. Lu told the old geezer that obviously he already knew what consequences awaited him for insulting the heir of a great family. The old man said that this is the order of the young master. The old slave can't even beg for forgiveness from the Lu family heir. Chung immediately saw the old man's coercive strength. Is this really the real power of a person possessing 7 stars? Chung was not confused and immediately used his vine to attack, which he directly aimed at the old man. The old man was surprised at this outcome of events and asked, 5-star spirit? It can't be that. After all, he only has 3 stars. But such a strange fighting spirit. Lee shouted that elder who was wrapped in vines. Would he be able to counterattack? That guy should be killed. But then light started to come out of the vine's cocoon. It was the old man trying to get out. Chung realized that this would be the case, because with his strength, the old man could not be restrained. Immediately, the old man was successfully released from the vine's cocoon. Chung saw that things were not good. There is a huge gap between them. He can't beat this old man. Lu didn't stand by and saw that his friend was going to lose. He decided to use lung and immobilize the old man's legs, turning them into ice. Lu asked the old man, does he think the guy is here for beauty? And immediately used his attack. The old man saw that it was will control and couldn't resist it. Li shouted as elder who was defeated in 1 blow. He has 8, yes, he definitely has 8 stars. Old man who fell to his knees and stayed alive. Lu said that the old man would continue to fight an heir with such skills. Chung smiled and saw that his friend was very strong and was very happy about it. Lu asked, are they still eager to execute him? Li said it was just a misunderstanding, a stupid mistake. He begged the heir for mercy. A guard immediately rushed in and said to the young lord, Dark Guard units to break up. They can no longer hold back the onslaught. Li told them to hurry up and report everything to the ruler. The old man immediately said that everything would be fulfilled. Li asked Mr. Chung, does he know the location of the opponents? Chung immediately looked at him angrily. Li told Chung that they were rude earlier. When they arrive on the scene and capture the enemies, he will be able to take action on his own. Jun told Chung that the situation is serious. Let him not be angry. Chung said that they are the possessors of dark spirits. They infiltrated the palace to distract the ruler and then exact their revenge. Li was intimidated and asked, dark spirit possessors? The old man said that he assumed it was just a massacre in the palace. But to his surprise, it turned out to be dark spirits. Li told the guys that the ruler's palace has fallen. He's asking for their help. Jun said everyone wants their answer. Lu said that he is waiting for the orders of the head of the Zhong family. If the leader does not decide, then he will not dare to act if she wants to run away. After all, he cannot leave his fiancée. June told Lu not to say anything stupid. Lee saw that Lu family's position is obvious. He is afraid that after this, no one will dare to say anything about the June clan. Lee could see that her older sister was touched. It seems she should take back what she said about her brother-in-law. Lee said, how could one be jealous of her sister's happiness? June told Lee that their skills are not enough. It could lead to injuries. She and Chun should find a place to sit out. Lee told her sister that she wanted to go with her. Chun grabbed her hand and said that they really can't help them. Lu took June's hand and told everyone that they needed to discuss how they would all proceed. Lee followed Chun and asked him where they were going, and what would they do if something happened to their sister. Chung told Lee not to worry. There are a lot of strong people in the ruler's palace tonight, and the heir of one of the 4 major clans possesses 7 stars. Also, Sister Xian is incredibly talented, and next to not Lu Shen, so it's all good. Everyone takes precautions, so nothing will happen. Lee said maybe, and he is correct. Chang said for her not to worry. Let her trust Sister Xian. No matter what happens, he will protect her. He would not let anyone capture her. Whether it was Mo or Gu, something indescribable was happening in the palace. Everyone was fighting for the palace, united as one team. Bai asked, what are these foul things? There is no end to the enemies, no matter how many you kill. The old man said, how dare they do such things in front of him? But then June saw that the old man was about to receive an attack from behind and decided to help him by repelling it. The old man thanked Miss June for saving him. Zhong was very angry and was destroying everything in her path. June heard something and asked, what was that sound? The guards suddenly started turning into zombies as if someone was controlling them. Lu turned back and saw June being attacked and yelled at her to dodge. June was surprised by this and asked, what kind of sorcery is this? At this time, Chong and Lee also heard the sounds of the flute. Chong said it was a dead body and immediately told Lee to get under the bed. They both got under the bed and told Lee to hold her breath. Just at that moment, a guard who had been recruited by magic burst into the room. The guard began to look around the room, looking in every corner. But finding nothing, he walked out. The guys came out from under the bed and Lee asked Chung what was that? Chung said it was a dead body. He'd seen it before in a tomb. Sister Rothong said the sound of the flute hypnotizes corpses with the power of a dark spirit. When did he have time to get another sister? June blushed and asked Lee. Chung said that he remembered that the more dead, the stronger the dark spirit wielder using the control technique. But then he froze and said that it was strange, the noise was gone. He should go and check it out and let Lee stay here and not go anywhere. Lee told Chun that it's too dangerous. They should go together. Chung thought and said right. She could be attacked here. As they walked out into the hall, they saw piles of blood and soldiers that were scattered at every corner. Lee let a tear fall and asked how so? Chung started looking at all the guys and shouting their names, but no one responded. Could it be that they are all dead? Lee started to look around and asked where her sister was. But then a hand came out of the corpse and moved. Chung asked who was in there. A girl came out from under the corpse and asked the guys to help her. The girl somehow got out from under the corpse and told the guys to help her. Chung told Lee that they needed to help her. The girl fainted and Chung managed to catch her. He was telling her to wake up. What happened and where are the other people? The girl recovered a little and pushed Chun aside and told him not to kill her. She shivered in fear and repeatedly told him not to kill her. Lee asked what happened here in the first place. Where is Sister Zhongxian? The girl said they're all dead. Zhang Tao Wei Mo, they're all dead. There's no one left. And hearing this, Lee was dumbfounded and almost fainted. Chang told her to calm down. Xian's body is not here, and Lu is very strong. To begin with, Chang said, they need to leave this place, after which they need to deal with everything and find out what exactly happened here. Li and Chun ran to Elder Wei and asked him, has sister returned? Wei said that madam had not come. Weren't they going to the banquet? Li just collapsed in her chair with excitement when she heard this. Elder Wei asked what happened. Chang said that there was an attack on the ruler's palace last night. The heads of families and rising talents were killed. Wei told Chang that he had drunk too much and was now talking nonsense. Chang said it can't be. What time was that? Wei said it was about half an hour ago. Chang thought and said that it was very strange. Sister Jun Li was too calm. After all, it would be necessary to return to the palace again. Chang did not immediately go to the palace, and in front of the gate he saw the herdsmen who were built in a fly. Chang thought that after such an incident, Leeching should be consumed by chaos, but there were still a bunch of guards in the palace. All of this is not normal. One of the guys was saying we should watch it soon. The tournament participants have been chosen. People have been saying that Lycan's top 10 has been determined. And boy, do they hope this time they'll bring some results. Chang saw the table and said that there were still 10 contestants on the list. Why are he and Sister Jun Lee's names still here? But then someone passed near Chang, and Chang recognized a very familiar figure to him. He immediately ran after her. Chang came to the spot and saw what he had missed. Just then, someone behind him asked Chang what he was up to. Chang turned around and saw Sister Rotong. He told her it was Chun. Li asked him how he could prove he was real. Chang smiled and said they survived the disaster in the tunnel together. Li grabbed his face and said that the guy felt pain. Apparently he was really real. Chang asked her how she got here. Li said that when she woke up, she rushed to the palace but found no one alive. Then she accidentally bumped into the Dark Guardian and knocked him lightly, but he continued to lie motionless. Next thing she knew, she realized he was dead. And when she opened his shirt, she saw that there were some dark threads in his body. She walked around the palace, but with the exception of a few rebels, most of the people passed for puppets. They were doing nothing at all. Chang said that last night's banquet in the palace turned into a bloodbath. Countless people from different clans died, but everyone is calm and acts as if nothing happened. Some more saw the massacre with their own eyes. Oh, nothing gives it away, so it looks like the palace is under control. Li said that after all the effort they had put in, it could be concluded that the spirit palace was not their goal. Chang said that although the dark spirit wielders are strong, but yesterday, a lot of powerful people were gathered in one place. How were they defeated? And then he had a suggestion. Maybe someone was secretly watching everything that was going on, to strike the fatal blow at the most opportune moment. Li said that if that's the case, then they are in danger. In the list of 10 participants, only they and the second mistress of the Zhong clan are the real ones. What's wrong with the others is unknown. 8 people will gather together, and they must join them to enter the spirit palace. Everything will be the same as before. Chang said that Zhuo Linlong was missing from the list of participants. The people present in the palace yesterday were either killed or reported missing. Only he and Sis Jun are definitely alive. Li said that these 8 people are probably the people being controlled. They are aware that she and Sis Jun Li are alive, and they want to be killed during the tournament. Li said they definitely can't go into the palace. They had better hurry up and leave. She still had a lot of questions that needed answers. Chang said to Li, why doesn't she go back to Zhong Manor with him? Chang said it's dangerous inside the ruler's palace. If she goes with him, he and Sis Jun will help her. Besides, she's not the only one she's worried about. They immediately headed to the Jun Manor. The girl saw Chun and said that he had returned. What's the situation outside? Chang told Sister Jun Li to let him introduce Rowatong. Not only is she extraordinarily beautiful, but she also has a 5-star spirit. The girl said hello and said her name was Jun Li. Raodong said that she welcomed the second mistress of the Zhong clan. Walking into the room, Rothong asked what that sound was. Li said it sounded like someone knocking. Elder Wei walked in and told the second mistress that he had come with a message from the ruler. The Palace of Martial Spirit is open. 10 participants can enter. Li took the piece of paper and immediately looked at the guys. Rothong said that she didn't recommend going to the palace. Chang said that now that the ruler's palace is under control, if they want to kill them, hiding in the Jun Manor is useless. Yes, and he is also interested in visiting the spirit palace. And later he will go there, but Sis Jun will stay here. Li immediately became indignant and said no. Chang told Li that he knows she is very worried about Sis Yen, but she should also realize that it is extremely dangerous in the palace. She and Nurse Rotong will stay here and take care of each other. He'll be safer that way. Rothong said it may not be as dangerous there as they think, but they should still remain vigilant. Chang arrived at the palace and thought he was told it was an invitation, but an old man was sent to him. There weren't many people in the ruler's palace. However, this old man didn't seem to be affected by the hypnosis. That's interesting. Chang told the Lord that he felt like there was something going on with the ruler's palace lately. It is better not to stay here for long for safety reasons. The old man told Chun if he wanted to survive after going in, let him follow what the old man was about to teach him. To ask and talk less. The old man, after these words, started hitting the wall, and trying to pass through it. Chung realized that it was some kind of mechanism. The old man came to his senses and told Chung that it was time for them to go. When they arrived at the palace, the guard asked him why he was alone. Where was the other one? The old man said that only one had arrived. Chung said that the second lady of the Zhong clan was sick, so she couldn't attend. The head guard told the old man that it was none of his business, so let him get out of here, and he told the guy to follow him. And immediately when he entered the palace, he saw all the boys who were lined up. Chung thought, weren't these all the dead people? Even Zhuo Linglong. How did he end up here? Several men in white robes came out and stood in front of them. The guard said for the youth to greet the wise men and gentlemen. The guy said they're acting as victims this time. The guard bowed and said Mr. Shang is as insightful as ever. Shang said that especially this one, although dead, but will leave its mark in the sea of knowledge. The collection will be very well replenished. Shang stroked the girl's face and putting the meta said he was taking it. Immediately the girl stepped into his clothes. Chung saw that he would make her disappear with a slight movement of his hand. This is what a divine-level technique looks like. They are not ordinary people, are they not clan followers? The guard said that she had been sent to the holy sage. Chung thought, didn't the dark spirits invade here? Chung remembered the old man's words about what he shouldn't do and what he should walk away from. The guard asked the boys, what were they procrastinating about? Let them follow him to the Palace of Battle Spirit. Here they all arrived at the Martial Spirit Palace together. Chung saw that the dark spirit wielder was Guiji. Maybe the ruler is under hypnosis. The guard told the ruler that the subordinates were here. The ruler told them to understand. The watchman immediately ordered them to get up. The guards immediately began to lift the beams. Chung saw that Gui looked frightened. Had the plot been uncovered? And then the guards brought a large cauldron in front of the boys, and that was placed right in the center of the kingdom. The governor told the guards to bring them in. The guards took the people who were chained and brought them to the cauldron. Chung saw that it was a devilish old man, and a big-headed one at that. It was definitely them. The ruler said that they were attacked by the possessors of 5 dark spirits. Fourth lady, what should be done with them? He asked. The fourth mistress said, let the ruler decide everything. The ruler said that this time, because of the attack on the palace by the 5 dark spirit wielders, Leeching had suffered irreparable losses. At one time he had beheaded one of the criminals himself. Today he captured the 3rd and 5th. Commander Shang dropped them. The 4th gentleman told the ruler that they had already been sentenced to execution, so wouldn't it be better to spare their lives and use them for their own needs? The ruler grabbed her head and told her that he was not interested in her opinion on the matter. The plan was that she would use the power of the 1,000-faced one, the 4th, and lead him to the riverbank, while the remaining 3 would seize the opportunity and attack the palace. If this place wasn't protected, I'm afraid Leeching might already be under the control of another ruler. Consider the fact that he only let her live so that she could repent. The ruler asked Commander Shan, does he refuse? He can't stand killing his comrades, much less his loyal friends. He had known about this trio for a long time, but he still didn't know where the 1,000-faced man was hiding. The ruler said he didn't expect Shan to be right under his nose. He is worthy of his nickname, straight-up master. Shan immediately attacked the ruler and said he would kill him. The ruler saw this attack and dodged it. He did not wait and immediately attacked in return and hit the target. Shan was amazed and hit right into the cauldron, and then turned into a guy and asked, is this the vessel everyone is talking about? The guy told Li Tianlong that he had sorted out the problems in the palace. So wouldn't he tell him about the secret realm? The ruler said that he said there are 3 keys to it. He has only one, so do they. If one forcibly enters there, a multitude of people are doomed to perish. The guy immediately attacked the ruler and said that he was talking a lot, and said that their patience is not limitless. If the secret kingdom is not revealed tomorrow, he knows what the consequences will be. The ruler said they were a bunch of crazy people. Gui asked him what she said. The ruler said not to worry. She was a little just tired. The governor told the guards to send the lady to rest, and not to let her go outside without his permission. Chung thought that the ruler was already aware that 4th Lady Guiji had killed so many people. Was it really all the fault of the 5 dark spirit possessors? The ruler said that it was good that someone could remain calm while contemplating such cruel punishment. Chung bowed and said that he thanked for the praise. The ruler The ruler told Chang that he was very clever. It seems the fact that he's alive after last night's riots is not just a coincidence. Chang said that he didn't understand exactly what the ruler meant. Aren't all the people who were present yesterday here? The ruler told Chin, if he continued to talk nonsense like the Zhou clan girl did, the Zhong family would expect the same as her. Had the Zhou clan really been carved out? The ruler said that he was announcing the opening of the martial spirit palace. Leeching's dead can enter the palace, while the living must stay outside for a while. The ruler told Chin, he knows there are no living among them, right? But he also noticed that if the clan intervenes, some things get out of control. Chang told the ruler, he wants to know if the people who disappeared without a trace that night are okay. The ruler said that the dead have appeared and those who disappeared are probably hiding somewhere. And only those who made it to the top 10 of the tournament were always allowed into the martial spirit palace. Chang thought that they were already dead, so why would they go there at all? The ruler told Chang to let him go, but let him remember that he had an hour. Immediately Chang went to the stairs. Chang, arriving at the book, saw that he didn't expect there were both martial arts and technique books with illustrations. An illustrated martial spirit book that gives the attributes and weaknesses of the martial spirit. The skill of fighting spirits is the dream of every martial artist. Although the spirit wielder has a couple of basic techniques, but the whole point is long-term self-improvement. No matter how talented he is or how strong his will is, it is possible to remain at one level for the rest of his life. That's why all warriors hope to learn special techniques suited to their class and attribute to fight spirits. But there are millions of different techniques in the world. It's not easy enough to get the right one, and that's why all warriors hope to learn special techniques suited to their class and attribute to fight spirits. But there are millions of different techniques in the world. It's not easy enough to get the right one. That he had studied a lot but found nothing for himself, and after all, time was limited. Instead of looking for an illustrated book with his spirit, it's better to choose a spirit fighting technique that matches his attribute. I think it's more suitable. A book fell from the shelf onto Chang and hit him right on the top of his head. Chang opened it and saw a mid-level spirit technique of parasitism. Chang thought about it, and it seems to him that this technique has the fighting spirit attribute of a tree. His fighting spirit is a vine. Both are related to plants, so there should be no problems. Something began to happen, and the absorbing power of his soul was leaving him. But Chang didn't understand what was happening to him. And then the spirit technique of spirit parasitism opened up in front of him. Learning this skill in the future can help in forming a seed of power. And you can use this technique on another person and draw their energy. Also, the parasite will probably consume a small amount of life force for feedback. Chang felt sick, and he immediately grabbed his head. After all such power had consumed him, Chang realized that it was also possible that the parasite would probably consume a small amount of life force for feedback. And with his current level, he was already very familiar with techniques for fighting against mid-rank spirits. And now he has a pretty useful thing: feeding himself, then absorbing the battle spirit by using the poison attribute beforehand. Chang said that the spirit palace had only been open for an hour, and he had spent almost all of his spiritual power to learn a mid-rank spirit fighting technique. Chang began to consider and said that there were no more skills here that suited him. Chang said that there should be higher-level technicians here as well, but unfortunately, his strength is not enough. One must improve and develop to become a master of his craft. Couldn't he just steal a few scrolls, sell them, and earn thousands of gold? Chang told himself to forget about it. No need to be greedy. He will learn a mid-rank technique. But who knows if there are guards here? And the ruler is not very kind. Now that most of Leeching's talents have fallen and there is no confrontation between the cities, what exactly does Tian Yulong do? After leaving the room, the ruler said that he had achieved a pretty good result. Chang said that he had achieved success. However, these people think it is too cruel. Chang said that it was nothing like that. He just thought that the 5 dark spirits had earned their fame. The ruler said that they are lowly dark spirit possessors. And how does Chang know so much about spirit possessors? Chang said that there are 9 spirit stars in total. They are arranged in order of increasing strength. The ruler said that if the spirit palace was so simple, the clan would never surpass the empire. This so-called 9 stars is a well-known limit. But when one reaches the 9th star, one has the opportunity to become a spirit king. Chang realized that he had been thinking for a long time whether there was something that the 9-star wielder was aiming for, but he had absolutely not expected this. The ruler said that the young men in gray robes, he could see earlier belonged to the tomb group, all of whom possessed 9 stars. True geniuses, however, even these people dare not oppose the reigning house. But in the clan, a person who managed to reach the rank of king can hardly be called truly spiritual. 23 years ago, a tomb was discovered outside of Lee City, rumored to be owned by a great man beyond the rank of Spirit King. Subsequent generations discovered that the tomb hid a secret realm where it was rumored someone had already been. Chung asked, beyond the Spirit King rank? The ruler said exactly, the 8 saints from the tomb have been sent to the secret realm. It is said that the 3 great families from the imperial city have also sent people there. Chung said in that case, Lu's heir has been destined to come here since birth. The ruler said, and Chung thought he had only come for fun with the girl? The ruler said that the secret realm is a unique opportunity for the families of the imperial city to enter the Spirit King's world, and the first family that gets there will crush the other 2 with its power. It still requires a sacrifice to enter the tomb. The sovereign cannot confront the imperial descendants, but even if the ruler voluntarily gives permission for the successors to do so, there will still be despair. It so happened that the dark spirit possessors wanted to sneak attack the ruler's palace, and even though they were weak, they still upset the sovereign. Chung thought that it was obviously all set up to finish off some people, but the incident had gotten too big. The ruler said that he was very lucky, as he had gained a lot from the martial spirit palace. Now he had something to ask for. Ching asked still how to ask. The ruler said that it was one of the 3 keys to the secret realm. After the realm is opened, this thing will become quite useful, and he wants him to be the one to go to the secret realm tomorrow with the 8 men from the tomb. Chung said that he was just an ordinary 3-star holder. How could he take on such a responsibility? The ruler said that he knew his martial spirit was special. Maybe this would be a great opportunity to test the ability. Chung traveled with the elders that same day. One of them said they were on the spot, and it was time to get started. They immediately opened their powers to their hands and unleashed magic, which they directed towards the gate. The guy told Chun to give them the key. Chung took out a key from his pocket, and a triangle appeared in front of his eyes to open the gate. The elders reached the 2nd stage and said it was time to begin the blood ritual. After the ritual, the doors began to slowly open in front of them. Chung now realized what this hidden world was like. Chung and the elders went inside and found themselves in an empty room. But in front of them appeared a huge statue that was painted with emblems. One of the elders said, "Didn't they say that the hidden world is full of mysteries? There's nothing here but a stone monument. How can there be hidden treasure here?" The boy approached the monument and asked, "Isn't this monument made of black stone?" Iron from such a stone is one of the most important materials in making the king's weapons, and this monument is capable of producing about 1,000 pounds of blackstone iron. The girl said that if they took it with them, their hike would be worth it. The guy took off his robe and said he'd take care of it, and then he used his powers on the rock. Chung said this iron weighs about 2,000 pounds. Is he going to lift it? The girl said that the strength of one arm is over 1,000 pounds, so with the strength of both arms it's not a problem. The guy used magic on the monument and commanded it to rise. The magic scattered throughout the room. But then something started happening, and the girl asked what was going on. But then a stranger appeared and said that he didn't expect this generation of candidates for the office of the Holy Sun to turn out to be a bunch of fools. The stranger said that the ancient tomb sect is still the best among the sects of the 9th grade. They knew that the elder of their sect had died, greedily chasing after the black stone monument, causing him to turn into a spirit. The guy said that he didn't expect Mr. Gu of the Arshi clan to be here. He said he advised to leave quickly or he wants to take the place for himself. Guy asked, "Does the Arshi clan want to take it back? They discovered this hidden world, and he's just a thief taking advantage of the opportunity to sneak in." Gu said that it was impossible to open the hidden world with just the key that the tomb sect was holding. Not only is he alive, but he has also joined this sect. The Arshi sect and the Tomb Sita have never gotten along. Since he joined them, don't blame him for being defeated first. Chung got angry and immediately attacked the guy. He said it was a child's trick. Immediately pulling out his sword, he cut the vines into small pieces. But then the elders started to get indignant. The chief stopped them and told them not to worry. They would use it to find out the truth about the other side. Chung was also very angry and asked, how dare he use it as a thing? What a bunch of heartless bastards. Chung tried releasing his vines again, directly at Gu, who was trying to attack him. Gu immediately used defense, and immediately applied his move. Chung immediately fell to his feet. Chung felt the pressure on the martial arts master's will. Gu raised his sword above his head and told him to die. But then an arrow made of ice appeared out of nowhere and headed straight for Gi. But the guy noticed it and dodged the attack. Lu and Jun appeared in front of the gate. Lu told Gu that he hoped this was the last time to warn him. If he attacks his friends again, he won't spare him anymore. Chung was overjoyed when he saw them. After all, he was worried to death. Lu said she was with him, no reason to worry. It's hard to have a private life. And Chung still wants to interfere in it? Jun said stop joking around. If Chung is okay, we need to get out of here right now. Lu asked Jun if he wanted to find the last head of the Jun family here. The girl said, there is nothing in the hidden world but a stone monument. The old man can't be here. Jun asked Lu, does she not want to leave? Jun said their situation is not good. He and she can fight, but if Chung gets hurt, Junli will be sad. They can't risk it, they better get out of here. Lu said he can protect them. Jun said the two clans have gathered, they're confused, and he wants to play with their lives? Jun asked him, is he serious about not wanting to leave? Gi said, of course, he won't leave until he fulfills his family's assignment. Gi said Jun is a stupid woman. Does she really think he loves him more than anyone else? He's just playing with her to cover his tracks. Was it a family errand? A cover-up? Lu said it wasn't. He's talking nonsense. Jun asked him what then? He said that he left the Lu family and came to Li City to be with her, and when not to leave her. Jun took offense and told Chang that it was time for them to leave. But Chang stood still and didn't know what to do. The ground began to crack, and the guys immediately all attacked Gu together. The guy couldn't react and was injured. Gu kept repeating that he was only one step away from understanding the laws of heaven and earth and moving to the next level. He's going to kill him. Chang realized he wouldn't be able to react, and Lu managed to grab Chin. Gu also didn't know that Lu would save the kid in time and repel his attack. Gu told Lu that he is always against him. Since he wants to die for this kid, he will let him do it. Gu touched the stone and said that the spirit of the black stone tablet is scattered. If he destroyed the tablet now, the secret realm would collapse and they would all die here from such a great force, and the ground started to crack. But Zhong fell right under it. Lu saw it and shouted at her. Lu saw she couldn't get away and ducked down to save her. He immediately threw her over to the other side of the rock. Golden spiritual chi could only be produced by the death of a highly skilled member of the royal family. But he didn't expect to find a royal tomb hidden under the secret realm. Gu grabbed Chun by the throat and said that there were rumors that the chi of the golden spirit was so strong that even the slightest touch of it would shatter their bones. Gu didn't bother with him and threw him into the abyss. Lu threw himself to the rescue and told Gi to die. Chang was falling into the abyss, wondering where he was. But then from his soul, everything began to change, and he turned into a monster. But that wasn't all. His soul began to change, and a tremendous power was drawn out. Chang opened his eyes and saw a void. He wondered, what is this place? Where is it located? But then a silhouette appeared in front of him and said, his spirit is the spirit that awakened in his body, an all-devouring martial spirit. Chang asked him who he was. The voice said he doesn't need to know the name. Since he doesn't answer him, he will see for himself. The voice said it was really the devourers. He never thought he'd get a chance to see devouring again. And what kind of place is this? The voice said that usually people who disturb his peace die without a body. But since he was involved, the all-consuming fighting spirit would let him live. Chang told Senpai to wait. Chang said that they are threatened by an evil man and they came to him. This evil man is very strong. He wants to destroy the secret kingdom. Senpai gave Chang strength and said that a mere 9-star spirit fighter had nothing to worry about. And now he will give them the heritage of Taoism so that they can reach the spirit king realm with one leap. Senpai said it was a way to make up for the goodwill of old friends, and sent him back to the battle. Lu missed the chance and got attacked. Zhong saw this and ran to look at him. Gu said for Lu to stay here and wait for his death. Chang came out through the abyss and told him to stop. Gu said that he never thought he wouldn't die in the golden chi. Chang said that he couldn't die until he got rid of it. Immediately, he attacked with a golden liana. Gu had never seen such power before, so he couldn't resist him. Gi asked him how he had broken through to the Spirit King's realm so quickly. It's just confusion. It is definitely a martial will. Gu said that he is also half a step away from entering the Spirit King realm. It is unknown who will die. Chang didn't leave him alone and immediately attacked at once. Gu turned around and saw the guy and said, Chang immediately took advantage of this moment and slapped him on the back. Even Ji's mouth was bleeding. Chang said that this half-step they could never surpass. Gu pounced on him again and said it was impossible. Chang used his vine and pierced his body while attacking. Gu didn't even expect him to be able to react so quickly. Lu came to his senses a little and asked Chang, "Is he okay?" Chang said he was fine and immediately grabbed his head. Senpai appeared in front of them and said that a new tablet, an education, was being formed. And now he could go. This is the land of the dead. From now on, let them not disturb this place. Chang thanked him as he said goodbye.